Okay, we are live with episode 4 of the Electrum Archive. I think it's 4. I looked,
Yeah.
and I think the last one
It's
was
gonna
3.
go until I
Sure.
get. It's gonna go at least until I get a horse.
Yes,
So
until you craft the. Well, it can't be the world's first horse because this is like post sci-fi kind of stuff. So until you craft this world's first horse.
yeah, this world's first horse
Excellent.
that I've only seen in dreams.
Yeah, you're
Yep.
just gonna make an invasive species, and then that's gonna
Yeah.
destroy the world.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have an idea for that if we keep going past. Okay, I'm gonna not write that down. I'm gonna hope I remember it later for
down
something
invasive
to do.
horse.
Don't worry,
Invasive horse
the horse will be
species.
fine. I might
Put
have
no
some
more-
story ideas for your strange
Put-
horse.
Yeah. Put no more notes in there at all. Just the 2 words invasive horse.
Yep.
Is that better or worse than parasitic?
Parasitic
Ooh,
might imply that the host can live, so no.
Parasitic horse?
like invasive is invasive species, but parasitic horse is like, and I spread like a disease of horsedom, which is kind of
Of
amazing.
horse.
Yeah, everyone in the world just starts like it's a literal like pandemic of people turning into horse people. That's
Horses. Yeah.
BoJack
It
Horseman.
becomes all the rage to turn into a horse.
Yep.
Like tuberculosis. But horse.
If it's good enough for Arthur Morgan, it's good enough for me, brother.
That applies to both of those things. Okay, so you guys are trying to steal a magic sword from a wizard's tower.
Yeah.
You have so far found out that the vault of the wizard's tower is underneath the tower. You have found out in like a cave. You found out there is a like puzzle tile thing, in front of the vault. You found the creator of that, but his mind has been wiped. So all he was able to tell you is that it's tied to some kind of like book, maybe something, but he can't remember the exact details. You found out that there is a panther.
Yeah, that was a
And
panther.
you
I
found
don't
out about
know. Have we,
panther. Anyone
has
that doesn't-
anyone ever seen a panther before? I don't
It's
know
a
if we
purple. It's a
established
purple
that.
panther, as we've described. Yep.
So there aren't other panthers that we know of in the world.
I don't know. It might be some other monstrosity that you are calling a panther. Maybe it
Some
floats and has
monstrosity of
tentacles.
flesh.
Yep.
Because if I look at the 7 points, it mentions nothing of panthers. Like the 7 world facts we
It
were
also
given.
doesn't. I don't know. It probably also doesn't mention like clothes, but people wear clothes.
No, it doesn't. But I feel like it would mention panthers.
Fair. Maybe this is also this world's first panther.
It is the panther.
It's the panther.
Yeah.
It mentions golems. To be fair, it mentions the other special bad
That's
guy
fair.
in this
You
encounter.
You did find a golem. It seems that anyone not wearing a specific type of amulet, it treats as hostile. Everyone, from the guards to the staff to the wizard himself, is wearing a special amulet. So the golem will listen to and like do mundane duties, and when it's not doing like specific mundane duties, its default is patrol. You've been observing for by now several days. You had no wait, you had 2 weeks, so you've only been observing for like 3 days. Then I think we probably
it's been 3
finished the
days.
third day.
Yeah.
So I'll
We've
move us
been
on
very
to 10
busy.
days remaining. We put no, okay, cool.
11 days remaining. It's on the...
I just changed it to 10 because I think you finished the third day. So that 14, 13.
I think so.
Well, yeah, nope. I just can't math. It's 11. Cool. I believe you also found out that someone else will be visiting the tower once there's, I think, 2 days remaining. They sent over some specific clothes so that the panther can get used to the smell. You
And
Attempted to
attempted
hijack the clothes.
You did hijack the clothes. You just attempted to do it stealthily. That's the part
You
that
failed at that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you ran off with the clothes, deliver it to them anyways after switching out for your own and saying, "Here, it's fine. Go use these instead." I meant use them normally. These are the normal deliveries, definitely. And the guards were
definitely,
like, "Sure."
we know nothing about magic. It's okay.
Yep. And but one of you also is posing as a magic item seller, and through a different method, also gave an article of clothing to them so that you can come visit and show off your magical item that you wanted to trade for, I believe, effectively. And he said,
I mean, that was more of a means to get on the grounds, but
it is, but that was your
Yeah.
story.
yeah.
While you're there, if you could rob either the panther or the golem, it would go a long way.
Rob them.
Yeah, let me
of
look
their
at my
pocket change?
13, my 3 agility, my 2 archive, my 2 body, and my 2 spirit.
I can
So the spells were
construct
good for you, but the stats were not.
No, they weren't.
I have 5 mask.
Yeah. I can construct a pretend trophy by stealing something from their house.
Does it say specifically steal, or can I just be like, oh, I would like a keepsake of your golem and your panther creature?
You have to walk into their house and take something.
Okay.
Does it say
So
that?
walk.
Oh yeah, their
You
lair.
can construct a trophy by scouting a creature's lair and taking something from it. So that reads to me, walk into their house, grab anything.
I think the closest thing the golem would have to a lair would be
This
like
is the problem, I know. They don't have a house.
they don't
There's
they
also a
don't
panther.
sleep. They don't have a lair.
They don't.
But the closest equivalent is finding like spare parts somewhere that might be used to maintain or change the settings on the golem.
No, the
Find the
golems
golem-shaped
are, according to
screwdriver.
the setting, ancient and lost technology.
That's fair. So better go
According to
find
the
it somewhere else where its true lair is that it hasn't returned to
Where
in
its true
hundreds of
home
years.
is.
Its golem family's waiting for it. Just went out for cigarettes one day.
Yeah. I am going to get cigarettes. I will be back. Boop, 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 boop.
Yep.
Yeah, so I might have to carve a little wooden golem figure.
Yep. Make a little.
That might be the only way.
Yep.
To make this work.
So if you want, I mean, you could watch the golem for a week, and then I could take something like I could try and get like a panther claw, like you know how like cats.
Well,
Yeah, the
the
panther would absolutely have a lair in that it probably has like a
the
comfy
panther
bed
has
somewhere.
a pile of, I'm assuming, guard corpses that it
Yeah.
sleeps on.
Yes.
I might
It has
be
a
able to
little
get,
like cat house made of the bones of its enemies.
Yeah, like it like guards that take their necklace off to take a shower or something on their first day, then just get mold on the way out.
What you need from the panther is its monocle and its detective magnifying glass.
Yes.
Yes.
Very. Yeah.
That's a very key point.
Or a hamburger, as he says in the movie.
Yep.
It's Inspector Clouseau. That's not the panther.
No, that's
from the
the
movie.
Steve Martin Pink Panther movie. The most,
Dude.
as someone who's a connoisseur of high art would know.
Yes,
also
I once spent many a Disney cruise watching the Pink Panther movie.
Okay.
You have what you've. So, on the dawn of the fourth day, 11 days remaining.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I think today's the day that Cornelius is going on his undercover mission.
It was the day
What's
after,
my
I believe,
father?
because he needed the wizard said he needed a day or two to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
my cousin has nothing to do with this. I'm Colin, not Cornelius.
yes.
It doesn't matter.
I imagine that every
Might
time
as
we
well
mix up
be.
his name, we cut to the real family member with that name doing something else that's somehow very different but fits the family. Like this Cornelius is like in the middle of a gladiator match but has perfect hair anyways or something.
No, Cornelius is gallivanting through the jungles.
Ah, perfect.
So he's got a pit
they have
and a
he
machete.
stops for a second.
He's got the He's got the pith helmet for sure.
He
We
does.
just
He
get
stops for a
pith
second and
helmet
takes out a spyglass, even though he's in the forest, and stares out of it through the trees, and is like, "That way is our quarry."
and we hear a panther sound. We don't see one, but we hear panther sound, fully sound just added behind him.
It's the same the same public domain panther sound, but that we hear every time the panther.
Naturally.
Yeah, just
and then we have a Wilhelm scream off screen.
Perfect.
Yeah, a servant has perished.
Yeah.
There's a legion of servants on that jungle expedition.
Perfect.
If only all mine didn't die in the mine.
Well, one of the things that we learned is that the vault is underground. I'm thinking that we might have some underground tunneling friends who might be able to craft us a second entryway directly into the vault. Who needs to deal with puzzle locks when you can just make a hole?
I believe we were told that we can't go back there because then they'll be mad at us.
There is that
the rats. The rats?
The rats.
Yeah.
I think she's talking about the rats.
Yeah,
the brain rats.
I'm not actually talking about the rats.
We made a lot of promises to the rats that we just didn't fulfill. We set up a long list of promises and then left. We told them we'd be back, and that was a month and a half ago.
Yeah, we told them we'd make that warrant great again, and then we just left and didn't do anything.
Just left and just decided never to return? So you're really putting a wrench in that plan.
I'm actually talking about the ear, who we just upped their influence in the city, and the one thing that we knew about them is they live in tunnels, and hey look, I went to the place where they were employed as tunnelers and gave them bunches of money. I'm figuring, can you dig me an extra tunnel, please? Might not be completely unreasonable to ask.
I mean, if that's what you want to do today, I think today I'm going to begin sketches of the golem.
Okay.
And you need me to get you a trophy from the panther? Or just from his home?
Well, if you stumble upon the panther nest, grab me something.
I could ask about this panther nest.
Yeah.
I did not know they were egg-laying creatures.
I'm sure panthers are a nesting species. They look like it.
Let me quickly Google how fast could medieval miners tunnel?
Not medieval miners. And
no, but it's a good starting estimate.
These are bugs. How fast can ants tunnel?
6 feet per day.
But ants.
Okay.
For medieval or ants?
Relative to their size.
So the ants don't have natural the ears still use tools to tunnel. They don't have natural drill bits on their face. Just to be clear. You've seen a picture of them, I think. They are very humanoid in terms of arms and legs.
In that case, the mole people might be the option, because the only thing that we were supposed to do was get rid of a ghost.
No, we had to get rid of the assassins also.
Yeah, the assassins we couldn't kill. The undead murder machines. Yeah. And the ghosts that we also couldn't kill.
Fair.
Yeah.
You
did kill the ghost. You did kill the ghost.
We killed the ghost.
You barely killed the ghost. But the ghost almost killed your character, Indigo, and then you, instead of running away when it almost killed you, hit it again and killed it.
Yeah, that is the vagabond way. Yeah. When in doubt, beat it with your implement of war.
Mm-hmm.
You did say that they were regular, just all over the city, that they grow up in colonies. Can we find another band of them?
You're gonna go rat hunting? Psychic rat hunting?
Absolutely. I have rats.
Bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. Okay.
Just keep feeding
them. You'll find them in some places. The thing is, one thing to note though, you're in the noble district, which is probably has the most rat catching, either professions or other creatures.
I'm probably not rat hunting in the noble district because that makes less sense. If you want to go find rats, you go where there's a lot of rats, and
That's
then you
true. I
speak
was
to the brood
assuming the
mother and
closer the
communicate.
rat colony, the faster it would take them to tunnel in.
Or
It will, but we can transport them to the noble district once we have a deal with the person in charge.
yes, with an invasive species, if you will.
So is the plan just to like find an abandoned house in the noble district and
That doesn't
just use it
exist.
as a I know.
No, but wasn't there a park right next door?
There is. Park
Mm.
may be a strong word, but like parquet. Yeah, it's where one of us has been observing the whole time from.
There are
Parquet
trees.
works.
That's a good
If
point.
we are continuing in the tree, we stick them at the bottom of the tree, say tunnel that way until you hit something, please. And shouldn't
Okay.
be too long.
And no one will notice.
No,
No.
that's why we have the person in the tree who, yells at anyone who gets close.
You just say there's some construction going on.
Exactly.
Are you sure you want to do this?
In all the times I play games with Spencer, I can count on one hand how many times you've asked that question.
If you say yes, I'm going with it, and whatever happens, happens.
Obviously, it sounds like a brilliant idea because
Great
you
plan.
asked that question. Yes, let's do it.
All right. Let's start with this then. So, how do you want to find a colony of, let me double check what they're called, but rats. Very psychic digging rats.
I think
Shivers, they're called.
a good start of this is food. You put out food, you hope that they come. You put it in places and ways that they don't think, oh, yes, this is poisoned food, because they're not that stupid. And most of things. But then sit around thinking, friend, rat, friend, until
I'm a friend to
they.
the rat people. You're just like as an internal mantra
All right.
over a
Exactly.
plate of bacon on concrete.
Yeah.
So, let me double check the exact stat definitions.
Spirit, I believe.
That's what I was thinking. It was spirit. Please.
Just for the
So it is inevitable that a rat eventually comes later during this day to claim the food, sniffing it out. It approaches. You start like
mental
thinking,
endurance.
yelling in your mind that you are a friend. Make a spirit roll.
Right. I assume the food is allowing me to do this, not
Yes,
advantage.
that's correct.
Fair enough. Come on, mouse. Not rat, obviously.
A 4.
And my spirit's 4.
That's a success.
That's great.
Excellent. So the rat like grabs the food, notices you as you kind of approach enough for it to notice you. Yelling this from your mind. It initially like jumps back and like starts to like back up, and again they're like dog size, so they're not really gonna scurry under a hole or something like that. But they it's preparing to run until it brushes your mind, and like it hesitates and stops. As you have even enough experience with these creatures now to know, like, it doesn't understand any complex concepts. It is currently like willing to listen to you to the degree that it's able to understand. It swallows it like rapidly devours the food that you gave it. And it's like not really approaching. I would say it tentatively takes a few steps towards you. You feel its mind brush yours, and it's starving, and clearly is hoping for more food.
The thought that I am sending it to it is bring me to like brood mother food. Brood mother, I will give food.
Take me to
Perfect.
your leader.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sense like fear and hesitation because it's like supposed to protect the brood mother too, but it's hungry, and maybe its whole brood is hungry. before it it starts doing just that. It
You have
starts.
snack money?
I never got rid of the 6-pack of rations from the last mission.
Yeah, and they're all like
You
dried
have
food,
some.
so even after a month, they're still edible, at least by these creatures.
Yeah, rat standard edible moldy raisins. Cool.
Yep. It starts leading you down, and it's not like you can do it, but it like is gonna lead you. If I bring us back to the
Town
map of
map.
Titan Port, and this is where you were. That's your heist target. And you said you weren't really looking in Hightown.
No, we were
Elsewhere.
looking in like the poorer district, probably a lot closer to where we actually live.
Okay, so you're looking at the Hollows is where your previous adventure began, and it's also the slums.
Yeah, that.
Perfect. So
Yeah, this is where psychic rats live, and we went out of town for that dungeon.
Yeah.
None of
No, I think it was in
both
town.
adventures you've done have been in town.
Oh, really?
This one and the last one. Yeah, the last adventure was in the Hollows. Like the Hollows is filled with weird crypts and things like that.
Oh,
Most of them are like
100% psychic.
owned by specific families and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100% other psychic rat families live in this part of town. Then.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, it takes you through. I think like at one point it digs. You have to get on your hands and knees at some point to crawl through one space or another. Eventually, it leads you into like an old crypt, but it looks like it looks actually pretty similar to the one you were in before, but a lot. The right way to put it is dirtier, like clearly disturbed, or part of it looks like it might have collapsed over the centuries. Um, there's a lot of dust and like long dried mud in places. But you know when you're getting close. You yourself are quite dirty at this point, but you know you're getting close from the smell. You smelled it before as you approach. It just smells like extremely stinky. As you are brought to the brood mother of the shivers.
Psychic rat stank.
Yep.
Like a pet shop, but psychic.
Yeah. Like before, it's attended by, like the other one you saw, it's attended by several other shivers. This one looks smaller than the other one. But like the others, like the previous one, it's still immobile. The broodmother itself. And yeah, being like several of them are protective of it, and standing between you and it. But its mind touches yours. It still can't speak, but you had a deal with the previous one. The broodmothers are capable of understanding. They're obviously in no way educated, but they are smart enough to understand some advanced concepts. It seems to know that you want food. It seems to know that you're offering food. Yeah.
Yeah. In the simplest terms that I can to make it easy to understand, I basically offer them, hey, I've got a new home for you that will be safe. It has structural integrity. It's in a good spot. I can provide you food. My big challenge is I need to get in there. So if you can provide me some tunnels, we can feed you the whole way. We can transport your rat population. It'll be fine.
All right. Please give me an. In this case, you've already connected to it mentally, so I think this will be a masks roll.
Okay. Tries to argue for anything effective.
What are your skills?
Talents are ink, text, stealth, and traps. So
This is stealthy.
Not.
Nope.
Stealth rolls are later when you're trying to carry a wagon load of rats.
A
So,
wagon of
if you want
dog-sized
to, I have an
rat.
idea. If you want advantage, spend another ration to bribe them now and get in their good graces.
Oh, absolutely doing that. Yep. All right, let's try this.
A one.
Okay,
We need it.
did not need the advantage, and I'm happy with it.
Perfect. So yeah, they're iffy, but yeah, you throw some food, and they can smell like, oh, you smell of like lots of food, and they're like interested in doing it, and you seem to be like, I think you can sense the mind consider like attacking you and just taking all your food. But it's intelligent enough to know like where you got this much food, you might bring more later. Um, and so it eventually is it's hesitant still, but it does agree. It will. I think it like is gonna have some of its norm. Like, let's roll 2d4. Can you roll 2d4 actually? See how many shivers will be following you. This won't really directly be affecting how fast it takes to dig. I'm just curious as to whether you have like a pair on your shoulders. Well, they're too big for shoulders, but a pair following you or like a swarm.
6.
6 shivers will follow you to the dig site that you're gonna make.
It sounds like a line in the like that Christmas song that's like a partridge in a pear tree, 6 little shivers.
Yep, exactly.
I'm assuming this is a nighttime movement
Mm.
Yeah, I think
scenario.
the
Or are you
movement.
trying to walk these guys through town in the middle of the afternoon?
No, we get the shivers to, I think, the tree in the park. And I think, like, after we got them to agree, I started, like, okay, let's rope off this area, make it look like legit construction, make sure that this is obviously a pothole. You're not supposed to go into the pothole. We're filling it. And then relocate the shiver into, like, the miniature den there, which is the start of the tunnel.
I mean, I have a disguise kit if you want some like high vis vests for the shivers.
The Electrum
I don't
are,
think
well,
that
not for
shivers.
them. No one will believe that they are.
Yeah, no one believe a rat-sized psychic dog or a dog-sized
No.
psychic rat with exposed brain
It's
and
like,
razor
everyone, this
rock
raccoon is helping me with this construction project.
teeth.
They're
Yes,
specifically
it's like-
trained.
Yep.
Because you keep feeding it bits of old dried meat so it doesn't bite
Mhm.
you. Just constantly,
Yeah.
like, here's a little
No
bit.
one will believe that. You would have to hide them out of sight.
Okay. So they work at night, sleep during the day. Problem solved.
Well, I
So-
feel like the biggest issue is really just getting them across town.
Mhm.
That's what I was gonna say. One, like, you're gonna turn heads as like they follow you. They're like, they still have their survival instincts. They're gonna try to stick to the shadows and corners of streets and like not get noticed as they follow you. But once
Do
you
we
get
have
into
said carts
Hightown,
that we were looking for, or no?
sorry,
Do we have a cart that we were looking for, or no?
you have a cart. What do you mean?
I was wondering if. Okay,
I
we
was
didn't
gonna
buy it
build the
yet.
horse first.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
yeah,
don't
we'll
want to
just
put
kind
your
of.
cart before your horse.
Or your horse.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't put the cart
Oh,
before the
we have
horse.
Shivers to haul it. No.
I don't.
Great.
I mean, they're dog sized and there's 6 of them, so like they could do something. Yeah, but
You know, that's enough for a sled. You could make a
you could
shiver
do a
dog
shiver
sled.
sled. Yeah,
Shiver sled.
They're not like bound beasts. They're not like
they're
psychically
not
controlled
trained.
by you.
They're yeah. Oh, this is gonna get weird, but weird.
Yeah, you're really just like herding them towards the park.
And the pre-dug hole that it's okay. This is the beginning of your den. I give them a little bit more rations to make sure that they stay here and that they don't eat like the poisoned food that
So,
I'm very sure is left
before
around in
you
this
get to
picture.
the park, when you enter Hightown, if you look on the map,
Yep.
There's a bridge.
There's
isn't there?
one really big bridge and a gate.
Or there's over here. as you
Okay,
can see,
stairs
there-
up. Both are guarded.
Damn.
Like,
Oh, why do I feel like I have a dungeoneering kit with a rope, crowbar, hammer, and spikes to get up a climbed wall?
so that's something you could try.
States.
I don't think that's something they could try to follow you on. You cannot
No,
teach
but
them
I
to climb
use
the
them
ropes.
to carry them.
You're just gonna pull up.
I see why this is an
Throwing
all-day
stuff.
affair at this point.
Yeah,
This is 24 hours.
It's hurting shivers.
Yeah. You're like, oh, you make a harness with the rope. I think if you want to use that, you can. You're gonna need a second person to help you today. To like, you're at the top, I'm at the bottom, kind of thing.
I mean, this is in the middle of the night. I spent the day preparing it, and now I'm actually doing it at the night.
Okay, what are you gonna do to stop the shivers once they get to the top from getting distracted, running off? If you're at the bottom, still getting them into the into this harness, because they might.
Rations.
Just
It's
a
the
pile of
solution for-
jerky at the top of the thing.
You know what?
This is a full
All right.
plan.
In this case, spend another thing of rations.
I
Worth it.
get there to dig the hole. They're gonna be too fat to dig.
And a use of Dungeoneer's
Honestly-
kit to get the rope ready.
Honestly, having them too fat from eating rations is great. It means the holes will be big enough that we can get through.
You know what? That's fair.
Actually, you've seen the holes they naturally dig are big enough for you to fit through based on the previous dungeon.
Mm.
Fair enough.
Okay, so you spend a Dungeoneer's, you spend a rations. You are using the rope to just pull them up. Hightown is under patrol, but I don't think you're at risk of running into a guard in the process of getting them up. But there is one more obstacle. I think.
I swear to God, if you use rations on this one too.
So, I guess my question, I don't think you have an issue getting to the park by itself, if it's at night. Like, you can dodge guards, you can, like, go down a side street. It's, like, if you're not trying to enter any of the homes, which you're obviously not, then you're fine. They follow you to this, small, looking at it now, it's not actually that small. There is that one bit of wood, but there's also what looks like a pond, and then it's surrounded by several bits of presumably greenery. So, with all that said, there's definitely some kind of like singular guard on patrol in that like patrols not just the park, but like this whole general area.
Why haven't they been accosting the person in the tree before now?
Because you can't. Firstly, are you gonna I don't think you normally notice them unless if you're trying to be stealthy in any way, they won't be noticed. Secondly, they mostly patrol at night.
Oh, okay.
Or like
I'm showing up in the middle
people
of the day.
trying to break into the homes of nobility for some reason.
No.
Who would ever do that?
So they're coming by
Who would
every
ever
so often.
find
They walk
6
by.
giant psychic rat dogs to dig into someone's basement? That's outlandish.
What?
Honestly,
I
you just
mean-
intimidate.
What do
You
you
just intimidate the guy and say no one will believe you.
What do you do to deal with them? Him.
Previously, it was mentioned that we kind of like I dug a hole here for the rat den. I cordoned it off, and so I
That
think
was
it's a
what you
matter
did in
of
preparation during the day.
yeah.
then
This
you
is
left it
part
alone.
of. There was how many people have not seen this is an abandoned construction type site roped off by a little bit of tape. It's like, okay,
Oh,
here's
yeah,
the
most
beginning
people, yes.
preparations. We're fixing this. So yes, I left it alone and then am ready to shepherd the rats into that when they're on the other side of the park.
When you arrive, the security guard is a woman who in our modern day would probably be retired. She's like thin with curling gray hair. She's probably in her 70s, but she looks like sharp and like rugged still, kind of with a bit with kind of like leathery sun parched skin. And she's looking around. She's actually like actively investigating clearly this site, looking for something.
This hole in the ground.
I don't think the hole really has started being dug yet, but like the rope.
There is a little bit of a hole dug there, just so that we have somewhere to settle the
Yeah.
rats into without them
Yeah.
being seen. But
Okay.
yeah,
And yeah, it's kind of the night, and she's like, you spot her before you get close enough to hear what she's saying, but she's like grumbling mildly to herself.
I gesture. Well, I communicate to the rats very simply: stay here, more food. Stay, more food.
Okay.
And then wander towards the lady.
Do you risk them maybe running off, or do you guarantee they will not by spending another ration?
I'll pay more rations.
Perfect. Yeah, no, there's like the rats are very easily distracted, especially as they seem to actually become a bit more feral the further away they get from their hive mind. Like they're across town now, so
I
they're,
mean,
they're
I was
getting
hoping to
increasingly.
bring her with us, but if she's that
Oh no, the
immobile,
brood
let's.
mothers
Yeah.
do not move.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, they are. Unless you want to carry the brood mother the whole way, which they would not let you do. They're far too protective. But that's the only way that they could move.
Fair. Um. Ooh. Okay.
They're still like gonna follow you for now. It's just not gonna be like they're more easily distracted.
So on this nighttime stroll, do we happen to have anyone who could pass for a noble quite nicely, who wants to join in on this? And
I literally am a noble, technically.
exactly, I'm
Good
wondering
enough.
if you want to
I'm
join
enough
me
of a
and.
noble.
Uh,
Put some leashes on the rats, like walk
Yeah,
around.
you pretend to be like a Noah with a very strange hobby.
the
Wouldn't
only
be the
reason that I
first.
wouldn't do it myself is I've been spending a whole day with harnessing, and there is no way I'm cleaned up enough to.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I got it. I'll deal with it.
You're caked in mud and rat
Because
leavings
because
and
because my
whatever
meeting with
else.
the guy is tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not today. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you should probably stay up all night playing with rats.
No, I just this is the last thing I do on my day
Yeah.
is whisk this person away.
Yep. What do you do?
Yeah, hello there, madam.
Do you
What
know
seems to
about
be the?
this? I should be
Oh yes.
notified of any kind of construction projects around here. Do you know anything about this, my lord?
Well, of course. It is looking for buried treasure.
Bear.
Have you not heard about the contest?
What?
I'm gonna pull out a fake
Also,
flyer
My
for like a buried treasure contest.
one that you like painstakingly drew up earlier today.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. She like
we should be finding many holes about these
regretfully
places.
takes it and like looks at it like she's about to be pained by what she reads.
Yes, it appears that back in the day, as I look at this heading, uh, a great adventurer buried a box of elder blood somewhere in town, and me and a bunch of other uh, brave souls are painstakingly following their steps, and I believe this to be the site. Don't tell the others if you find them, because it is my reward.
Sir, have you gone to the the park administration and for them to approve this um dig?
it's a
Not a
manicured
deep dig.
park.
Some of the most important people in the city enjoy this park. You
Of
can't.
course, that's why it's nestled in this corner right here, so it's not in the way. That is exactly where the great adventurer would hide it, right here, right
My
under
apartment.
everyone's noses.
I can't. You're gonna have to clean this up. If you're convinced
Well, of
there's some kind of
course.
treasure here, then take it to the no. I mean, clean it up now. If you're convinced there's some kind of treasure, take it to the administrator. Get their approval. You can do that tomorrow.
If I take it to the administrator, they'll take the gold. They'll take the gold.
How much gold? How much ink?
Nobody truly knows. There's ink in them there hills.
Make a masks roll, and unless you can find a better angle, with disadvantage.
I have influence and politics.
With negating that. Well, you have both. I don't know if politics directly comes into it. I would say this is
I
more
mean, you
influence.
were bringing politics into it with
Yeah.
go talk to the administration.
Yeah, the the
No,
administrators
that's-
were
that's
just
not
steal this
politics.
basically.
That's not like what people think. That is politics, but that's not what people think about when it comes to politics. That's administration. Like if this was stars without number, it would be the administer skill kind of thing. It's related to politics, just like influences. I do think it's not with disadvantage because of influence and like,
Mhm.
um,
And you've
if you
basically
want
just
to like
described some
do
Victorian
something
rich
to
guys
bring
club.
politics into it, you could then
Do you
get
know who my father is?
that's influence. That's literally influence.
Mm. How about I bring trade into it? Like,
Okay.
I'll tell you what. If you let this dig commence, I will give you a portion of the treasure.
Well, with advantage then. Unfortunately, against my better judgment.
Yeah, 5.
5 is enough? Yeah, because that's okay.
Yes, it's a 5.
So she's about to say no when she like catches herself. And she said,
Do you really want to be out here
Said
at
it was
your
a-
age?
said it was a lot of ink, right?
If the legends are true.
Screw it. Fine. If it's
Nobody needs to know.
it's not like anyone's getting hurt anyways.
A bully. Yes. You
Just
are a gentle lady and a scholar.
we're gonna start digging. How long is it gonna take?
Until I find it. I might be here all night.
I'll be back. I need to continue patrol, but I'll check in. She still seems like she's not really expecting it to succeed, but she's more like, what's gonna happen kind of things.
Yeah, what's the worst that'll happen?
At worst, nothing happens. At best, I make a chunk of, I don't know, a fraction of a gallon of ink or something.
Mhm.
Okay.
We measure
And
in
I think-
drops.
I know.
And a drop is
Yeah.
like a 48th of an ounce, and there's 128.
No one knows how
Um,
much it is. She got hopeful.
Nobody knows.
So, like,
Not even
5,000-ish,
me.
5,000-ish drops.
And
I
then
mean,
the
it's
rats get safely to
That's
their
actually a
new
feasible amount
home.
for a like buried treasure. For like a legendary buried treasure that like entire noble houses would fight over. Okay.
glad to
Thank
be of
you, thank you.
service.
So she walks off. She's still come back once or twice, but I think with Felix, as you approach, you're able to settle your rats down. They'll sleep during the day. They're probably like, I'm gonna just say that they're like naturally nocturnal. So like as more by this point, as like morning is approaching soon, yeah, you get them to settle down. Especially because you didn't actually have to leave them to deal with this. You
Yeah.
had your companion do that. So yeah, this is. I think you're able to prepare your dig site for tomorrow.
Bully.
Learns all information about heist, says, forget it, this is hard, let's dig a tunnel.
Panucci, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm carving my golem. So I think at some point during the nighttime interaction after the guard leaves, he groggily leaves his nearby tree, holding a half-carved figurine of a golem, like a little clay figurine that I have been like chiseling away at. Like I roughed one out. And it's like I must have fallen asleep in the tree, and that was my whole day.
Building a tree fort up there at this point.
Yeah, I have
Yes.
been painstakingly carving a little figurine of a golem in case we have to fight one, so I can smash it to bits.
Mm,
Okay.
yes. That makes perfect sense.
I think I can get his arms to articulate.
Ooh. Does he have judo chop?
No, I haven't figured out internal mechanisms. So just a little clay figurine. We need to start. We got to use something better if we want articulation.
What if
Maybe
we
electric.
use the flesh book to make flesh
Ooh,
dolls?
little flesh dolls. Yes, children
Totally
love little
possible.
flesh dolls.
Yep.
Little living creatures that they buy at a toy store and don't
Yes.
resent them at all.
Mm. Perhaps our flagship
That's
product
written
could be
on the box.
Chucky.
Yeah, it's written on the box. They don't resent your real life.
They don't resent your real life at all.
This reminds me of a certain doll maker from Curse of Strahd, actually. Someone who carved exceptionally creepy dolls who insisted they were very cute and innocent.
I was going to use children's blood to make little life-size clones of them that hang out in their room.
That sounds like the thing that children would be super excited by until they saw it.
Yeah,
Until they
until they're
saw
trying
it,
to go to
then
sleep and the doll is standing over them like this.
like, why do you get to have a birthday and I have to sit on the shelf?
Yeah, now you're the doll. They swap.
So, anyways, you're carving. You spent a day studying the golem.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm checking, Colin. I think that was your day was drawing up the poster and dealing with this, right?
Yeah, like basically doing the poster stuff to like just in case someone comes by, like setting up this whole like I think he actually like plasters them around town too.
Yeah, they're
so there
around
are other
town.
people
Elaborate
Just
treasure
like,
hunts.
treasure hunt is on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looking for refined gentlemen to help me discover a
Perfect.
gallon of sacred ink.
Can you give me a masks roll, please? This could
Influence,
go
politics, trade.
influence for sure. I think that's it. So yeah, get advantage.
Oh, 6.
All right. So on a 6. So, you have done what you expected to do. The downside about accidentally starting a new event in the city, the like, the I guess Titanport
Gentry?
treasure
I'm
hunt.
assuming.
Yeah, like
Treasure
everyone,
hunters
tons of people are out looking for treasure. This is good in that like it's a bit more chaos added to the city for now during the next couple days. Downside is the guards are also responding and like people are keeping an eye out and looking for weird things happening. Like everyone's kind of on alert more of like this weirdness is happening. But also you've noticed that like like the probably as Tursar Setru has came home from his business today. He passed by the park. He saw the dig site. He obviously didn't like. He is a bit suspicious. I'm gonna raise the alert level by one more.
How did he see the dig site? He walked through the little woods next to the
Not during the
wall?
night, but like late, like the next day, basically. Like he's gonna. He is one of the people who's being on more alert through this whole thing. He's not participating in the thing, but he's like, this is weird. And one of the dig sites, which he still thinks is a dig site, is taking place next to my house. It's not like he thinks he doesn't necessarily thinks it's funny business. He doesn't want any nobles digging around his garden looking for buried treasure.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want a bunch of drunk teenagers or college kids to jump the wall and start like ruining his garden.
Yeah, but then the panther will get him. That's not his problem.
That's a hassle when when the people eaten by the panther are rich and influential.
That's fair. You
So-
want your panther to eat the poor, not the rich. I get it.
Exactly. Either way, that is the end of that day. 10 days remaining. Still,
Still 10 days left.
Yeah, we might with the digging that might help.
7 of the next few days are
Use
golem
golem
research.
research. Cool.
Golem research, and I'm probably in a hole making sure to replenish rations.
Yeah, you're the whole feeding rats.
That way. No. I really appreciate your making a warren, but that way.
And it probably
digging.
takes like a bunch of time to like double check. Like, okay, you have to double check that you're going in the right direction because it's easy to get turned around as the tunnel gets longer. That kind of thing.
Exactly, which is why I'm actually spending the day focusing on
managing
this, like
them.
keeping them
the night.
as opposed
Again,
to just
they're
letting
nocturnal. So you like during the night
are also nocturnal now.
Yeah, now you're just nocturnal.
Now you're nocturnal.
Yep.
So while the other two are doing that, Colin, you have a meeting.
Yes.
So we probably weren't I don't think we have a specific time that you were given. You probably around the same time that Tersar normally leaves for business is when you were told to like arrive at the tower, because in this case he'll just be doing business here instead of out.
Yeah.
So you arrive at the front gate of the tower. The guards were expecting you, and it's the afternoon. So you might recognize the guards from the people, like the notes you've exchanged and things like that. Here we go.
Are they the lackadaisical ones or the really on the ball ones?
The former.
Okay. So the wide-eyed, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed adventurer kid and the guy who could not care less.
Correct. Yes. So they're expecting you. They say, "Don't get too close to the panther. It shouldn't. It won't attack you. But don't agitate it." They let you in, and immediately they give you an amulet. And they say, "Put this on before we proceed any further."
Oh, excellent. Yeah. A goodie.
Security measure. Will be taking it back when you leave. I assume you brought.
Can I like look at it and like
you? Absolutely. So because
like maybe we could make pretty good fakes.
Copies.
It's an engraved silver disc, and now that you're closer, you can see that it's embedded with a small red gemstone. I think it's you are a warlock, so I think you can tell this isn't actually specifically magical. So if you can copy it well enough, it might work. But yeah, it's not enchanted with a spell.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have?
Yeah. So
what toolkits do you have?
Disguise kit.
Would a disguise kit include wax?
I mean, it has a fake nose, so I would assume it has wax.
Because if you can do front and back impressions of this,
that's a fair
maybe
idea.
sneak off to the bathroom for a weirdly long period of time.
Think about it later. The guard's going to escort you into the tower. So straight through the front door. They're again. I think one of them doesn't care enough, and one of them takes their job too seriously to converse with you. One is too professional, and one is too apathetic. So, one of the person who is the new recruit and wide-eyed and is like, just right this way, and is like straight backs leading you through the door, while the other one's going to stay at the gate.
Yeah, I'm looking through the trees, being like, "Oh, where is this creature? I'd like to see it."
The panther you're asking about?
Yeah, I'm like trying to see, like, I'm asking to see it as like a curiosity, but I'm more like, where does the panther hide?
Perfect.
Just in case.
Where's its nest? How do we collect a panther token?
Yeah. Right now, Obias is typically spending they usually spend this time. I believe the master told us to use the phrase frolicking in the gardens. So somewhere out here she is hiding. Um, sometimes she
Hunting.
will hunt birds that land in the area or other small rodents.
Or criminals?
Magnificent.
Sorry.
Yep. Do you want to try and spot her, or I don't know if you have that much time, but maybe.
No, I'm doing it more as like making conversation, but also like trying to get info.
That's fair. Okay. Perfect.
So she just frolics around.
Yep. So you walk in, the door opens, and as soon as you walk in, next to the door, actually, I'm going to give you some more things because you're going to see some more info. So, first things first, you already, I think, have a picture here of what the tower looks like.
Yes.
That's how it looks like from the outside. And
We have a map also.
you do have a map, and as you go in, you're about to see how accurate it may or may not be. That is hide areas. Hold on. I want to reveal an area. There we go.
Down at the bottom left.
Down at the bottom left. So you're led into the door on the bottom, straight ahead. The golem is sitting right there, in the corner here. No, they wouldn't block the kitchen. Actually, so I think they're actually like right here. Like completely still and watching. Do I have a picture of the golem? You can already see the golem, so there's a reminder if you need it. But it just is
yes,
like
very creepy.
stationary. And the guard escorting you says, "Don't mind the golem. It is perfectly friendly as long as you're wearing the necklace, the amulet." He says, "So just a reminder not to remove it."
Oh, magnificent.
Yep. But you are led up the stairs on the left.
Past the lounge? Okay.
Yeah, past the lounge. So if the thing is right, this is the lounge, this is the well, which is where the vault will be,
Yep.
like down under the well.
Yep, you're led upstairs. And
Okay.
then you are led further upstairs.
This dining room, okay.
And then
Yes.
you are ultimately led up to the garden.
Ooh.
The garden partway up the tower with an open air window here, and a pool, and several benches and like very comfortable places. Waiting for you there, you see Tursar. Which did I mistyped his name here. There we go. So he's lounging, not like completely relaxed. This is a business meeting of sorts, but like he says like, I think he's gonna greet you pretty like not warmly but expectantly. So he says, "Welcome to my tower. I hope that it is to your pleasing." There's a small array of like nice, a platter of nice treats, like not a meal but snacks.
Yeah.
Just small enough for the two of you to enjoy.
Like a charcuterie board.
Basically, yeah. Out there. And he, yeah, he's relaxing a bit. He doesn't seem to have anything like with him that's obvious. There is someone with him that you have seen in the distance, but not in detail, is maybe the right way to put it. You haven't seen them up close before because they aren't a guard. So it's a stern, gaunt-looking woman wearing like proper I would say like this world's version of like a butler's attire, basically. I think for this it would probably be like a type of robes or something that are practical to like do physical labor in, but professional looking, but not too colorful or gonna draw the eye much. So like
Hmm.
a plain black robe of some sort. Um, she's sort of attending to him. So she's standing by and occasionally will bring him something if he asks for it. Tersar himself looks like this. He's not necessarily.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
He
Good hat.
twirls his mustache.
Good hat.
He does casually twirl his mustache, like it's a thing he does frequently.
Okay, to be fair, you have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, no, it's good maintenance. So yeah, he casually he's relaxing there, and he says, I think he's gonna start off by like making small talk with you. He asks you, yeah, how do you enjoy the tower? Um, he you have a like view of the city from here. Looking, you can look out, and it's not like a perfect view, but you can still see a good chunk of the city in Sanzer. It's not the highest place in the whole city, but it's one of them because the all of Hightown, to the name,
Is up.
is up on a cliff
Yeah.
compared to the rest of the city. So you can literally look down on the world.
Ah, right where they belong.
And that's
the
what he asks.
peasants
He asks
below
like,
us.
what do you think of the view?
Oh, it is quite magnificent.
It is.
I must say you have quite a compound here. I
20
hope to
years in
see
the
you.
making. It's been
Oh,
it's been personal pride of mine.
yes, I had hoped to have seen your panther on the way in, as I've heard tale from my cousin Cornelius about the mighty panther.
Yep.
Cut
Yes.
to another Wilhelm stream.
I've never met one quite like her. From an old I think he says like an old expedition into the jungle when I was a much younger man. I managed to find her and eventually tamed her. But yes, the third eye is quite something.
Third eye? What?
Yep, that's what he says.
Mm-mm.
In reference to the panther?
In reference to the
Yup.
panther.
I don't
Oh, he
like
said a
that.
third eye is quite
The
something.
her third eye is quite something.
Her
Yes.
third eye.
Oh, good.
The panther has 3 eyes.
Yep.
Where's the third one?
So like you are not close enough to observe that. If they had it on their face, you wouldn't be able to notice unless you got close enough, dangerously close enough.
You can see the panther's third eye. You're too close.
Yeah.
I know this is a strictly business transaction, but if personally, I would love to meet her up close, just so I can see the wonder that my cousin told me about.
Perfect. Yeah, he says, well, she has a mind of her own at times. You know, felines, I'm sure. You've heard of their independent natures. But perhaps we can lure her here. And he, like, gives a look to his butler, who, kind of, like, in the background, in the, like, professional, I'm not supposed to be noticed way, slips away to handle it.
Oh, bully.
So he says, in the meanwhile, enjoy yourself. Yes, he's gonna talk for a bit longer about like his home, basically. Like he spent 20 years, he built this place 20 years ago and has spent the last 20 years improving it since. The garden
Yeah.
is painstakingly taken care of. He says, you've seen a gardener taking care of the plants outside. You presume when he says, Mafala, which you presume is the gardener, is a miracle worker. And she is, worth every penny that I pay her to keep
Worth
this
every
place.
drop.
Yeah, worth every drop. Um, that I use to make this place as dazzling as it is.
Mm. Okay, so throughout the small talk,
Yeah.
I think what the main things I want to try and like get as like a oh we're just like chit chatting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the code had something to do with his favorite book, right?
That's
The puzzle flow crowd?
what
Yeah,
you
the
might have
puzzle.
heard. Yeah, you heard it.
Right. Yes. So just
You're gonna
we'll
ask him about
converse.
any influences on the design.
Yeah, any influences on the design, like like talking about like we're both like Richie Riches or from Richie Rich families, right? So like we talk about books we've read and how they've affected us, blah blah blah, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I probably say something like I want to basically like insinuate like, oh, does the panther sleep in your bed? Like you guys seem really close, but like that's sort of a means to figure out where does the panther sleep, which is
Mm-hmm.
where is its lair.
That makes sense.
Um, and then probably I want maybe ask for like a demonstration with the golem. Like I've only heard about these in studies. Like, what can it do to like see if I can maybe hear the phrase that he says to the golem, like his admin
Yeah.
phrase.
Oh, you won't hear that. That's like him just telling you his password.
No,
Um,
no, no. Like not him telling it to me, but like when he goes to the golem to give the phrase to have it do something, like me
oh, he doesn't
try and
have to.
listen in.
There is no like in order to get it to follow your orders, it'll just do it. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
like it's generally considered impolite to like tell someone else's like you're a guest. You're not gonna like hijack their golem. Um, but yeah, like you would know that as a noble. It's maybe not the only golem you've seen, though. I don't. Golems are rare enough. This is one of the most powerful men in the city. Golems are rare enough that like you might have seen one before like outside of this.
Mhm.
They're not a normal thing. They're an oddity, but they're not entirely like they're obviously not mythical. There are
Yeah.
more in the city though. Um,
So
I
like if I have the necklace on, I could just tell the golem to do something,
it's rude, and
but
I
it's
think he
rude.
will say like no. I don't think I think you can try to get him to tell you if you want to some more stuff. Yeah, make a masks roll. I think
Cool.
um,
Um,
definitely with advantage.
yeah. I think all three of those would hit technically. Influence, politics, trade, 2d10.
Yep.
One of those works.
5, I
Five's
did
good.
it.
Okay. So yeah, he opens up to you a bit, or you can infer things from what he says. Um, technically, you can tell the golem what to do for you. It is extremely rude to do it without permission.
Mm.
Um,
Oh,
there
never.
are definitely limitations on what the golem is like. The golem also has programming beneath it of how it acts. That's a lot more hidden. So it
Right.
probably can't ever do violence um like unless it's within specific parameters, like to someone who isn't holding who isn't wearing an amulet.
Mhm.
He might have more things with that. You probably would guess the golem will never act against him. He might have identified
Yeah.
himself as like an admin no matter what, whether or not he's wearing an amulet. Um,
Do I see if he's wearing one right now?
so he is wearing one, yes,
Okay.
but I don't think he tells you he doesn't need it, but I think you can probably infer like he doesn't seem that worried about not having it on.
Mm.
Um, you also wanted to get information about the vault and his favorite book. I think you said,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, in the context of like talking about like what sort of like what inspired the design, talking about books that we've read growing up, things that like inspired us to do what we do, right? Like in that
Yeah.
context, but knowing that the code is probably related to that book based
The
on what
yeah.
we know.
Yeah, I think it takes a bit, and I think eventually after like a moment of quiet, you answer asking those questions. The topic changes, and you talk about something else for a bit, and then in a moment of quiet, he comes back to think about things. He decides to say like, "There's a an old um." He would say, "There's an old monk, ear actually, um, called Orthox the Shrewd. He lived centuries ago, but he traveled the world, underground and over it. Spoke about what he witnessed, where he went. Spoke about the journey and the incredible things he witnessed and experienced. I did a degree of traveling in my younger years. That's where I acquired Obaya, and it was, um, well, that kind of life isn't for me anymore. So I did my best to kind of bring a version of the jungle and the world here. The parts of it, at least, that inspired me. But yes, I think if it wasn't for Orthox the Shrewd, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I recommend learning more about them if you get the chance.
Of course, for them to have inspired such a great man as yourself is quite a achievement.
More than one way, actually. They were called the Shrewd because they probably how they could afford to travel across the whole world like they did. Um, they were very careful with their ink drops.
Mm,
So, not sure how well liked they were at the time, but they made a name for themselves, and I hope to do the same.
of course, of course.
Is there any other questions you guys want me to try and get?
I'm curious to see if there's any tiling pattern at the bottom of the pool in case we're coming at this the wrong way, because we know it's somewhere damp, but the
Yeah,
pool might be it, and normally they do have tile patterns.
Well,
So
we figured out that we have to go down the well, right? That's where the vault is because it's damp.
yeah. So,
okay,
yeah, so it's not quite a pool. Gonna revise the statement. What you see there is actually a fountain in the shape of an. Double checking the definition of this word. Ah, an Adonic man, aka like fancy
Oh, like
muscled.
Adonis.
Yeah, like Adonis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adonic man pouring water into a pool, but it is a fountain technically. It's not quite a pool for wading. It
Right.
does not have tile in it.
okay.
Okay.
It's not like a swimming pool.
No,
It's
it's a
a
decorative
reflection pond at most.
Yeah, and like there's just the two sections here you can probably like put your feet in, but the rest of it isn't really meant for like
Mhm.
entering.
Oh, did I get a read on? Did he like give me a clue on where the panther sleeps?
Um, Let me double check before anything else. Um,
God, there's a lot of
yes.
surprises.
The panther is coming here.
The-
She's after me.
The panther. So the panther actually enters, probably as you're talking, and she is going to. She sleeps somewhere here, and I think you spot, her
Sorry, here
main
being
the
Like
very
on this
room
floor?
you're in. Yes. Um,
Ooh.
so if you look on the map, not the map, the picture of the tower you were given, you can see there's a large tree. That's this tree here. So as the panther comes up, probably like fed slash bribed with food. Not that you know anything about that. Um,
nope.
the butler, brings the panther up, and the panther walks like a cat, which means very silently like walks past you all, brushes past the like Tursar and in a body language that's clearly wanting to be like pet for only a few seconds.
Hmm.
glances at you, and you do see a third eye on her forehead.
Cool.
And then like goes over to the tree and leaps up onto it and lounges in the tree branches.
Excellent. So I can as someone who has one of these.
Yes,
So, um, on the tree, are there like a bunch of scratch marks because like cats
definitely.
love to do that?
Yep.
Okay. Also, beneath there, would there be like sheddings
Yep.
of claws?
Yep.
Ooh. Okay. I want to go like, oh, magnificent. Uh,
Baya is
say,
truly a treasure. I did not think I would care for her the way I do.
Oh, exquisite. Um, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love a little personal memento to remember this rather profound experience by. Would you mind if I take one of her claw clippings?
You like, because you already succeeded before,
It's a weird thing to
like he's
ask.
not really gonna think about it, and like
it's gonna be
trophies are not
weird.
magical, so it's like
Yeah.
it's like more of a game mechanic than anything else. He will just sort of like look at you strangely and then say, sure, I suppose. And he gestures to his butler, who like puts on a glove and also mildly perplexed gives one to you.
Oh,
They have no reason to think
Like it's
otherwise.
like this big.
Oh yeah,
oh.
Yeah.
Now I can show my cousin that I've met one as well.
I'm
as
just sort of like
well.
stuff it away.
Oh, that's who I heard it from. My cousin met a panther.
Yes. Well, this one's particularly special. In the jungle, they're much more common and less friendly. Just so you know.
Oh, I've heard tale. I've heard tale.
But you came here to we should talk business now.
Yes, of course, of course. Sorry, it is just you have such a magnificent place. But let's get down to brass tacks, if you will.
Electrum tax or something. Yeah.
Electrum tax.
Silver tip.
Yeah. You brought some blade with you, I have heard.
Ah, yes. Do you mind if I reach for it?
Oh, he like there's space on the table next to you, like the coffee table esque like place next to you. You finished eating. He waves the butler even before he starts waving. The butler has already begun to like clear space away from it. He says like gestures to it like, please.
Yes, I take it out and stab him. No, I'm kidding. I put it down.
It does
I
have
mean,
like a
it is
murder
charged.
fireball effect.
It does have
Yeah.
a murder
It is-
fireball effect in it.
Yeah.
and it is
So
charged, so you
Yeah.
could.
I could, but he probably has more than 4 health.
let me pull up.
Isn't it 2d6 for a single target? So yeah.
Oh, you know what? He might have
Then
more
you
than
jump
2d6
off
though.
the building.
3 floors up. I'm
Listen,
pretty sure
yeah,
the second
kill
book
him.
And
added
then
fall
fight the
damage.
golem
rules.
with your bare hands.
What I do
You
is
don't
I
need to fight.
kill him.
Yeah.
I jump off the building and roll a new character.
Perfect escape.
Blade of Wizards.
But then you'd lose Vortex of Blinding Fire.
That's true. That's
That's
true.
a heck of a spell.
yeah.
You also can't forget Prison of Avenging Memory.
Yep.
and Storm
Yeah.
Silhouette.
Oh, that's that on the butler, so that she never walks again.
She never walks again.
So
Trapped in a prism of blinding, or what is it, painful memories, or whatever.
yeah,
Avenging
so
Memories.
looking at the picture of the Null Blade, which I have a small one of, I'll take a screenshot of it actually quickly if this doesn't freeze the entire computer, but you know, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Definitely. Always is.
There we go. I will share it with you so you can see it. I will. Oh, stream can already see it, so I'll just share it on Discord with you. It has a small gemstone, not in the hilt, but like at the very beginning of the blade, right after the guard, before the blade itself splits into 2. So that currently is like glowing now that it's charged.
Yeah.
Here we go. Perfect. So that's roughly what it looks like.
Ooh.
You take it out and place it there. It probably also like vibrates slightly. Not like a full-on buzz, but like when its normal vibration of anything hitting anything like seems to be slightly enhanced. Like it almost resonates whenever it hits anything. Not fully like a tuning fork, but like slightly.
You feel the power.
Yep. So you put it down, and his eyes look at it like he looks very interested in it, and he says, I think I've heard of these weapons. They're very rare. Tell me about it.
Yes, well, let me regale you of the time I went down into the tomb of I make up a name.
Yeah, the tomb of like I don't
The
know,
tomb of
Brachus
Leviticus.
Rex, because I'm just gonna steal from Divinity.
Yeah, tomb of Ragus Rex. And I found this blade among corpses of shivers among their maiden who had been slain by a great ghost. And I used that dagger to slay the ghost, thus cleansing the tomb.
Perfect. So
Yeah, so I just make a bullshit story like most rich old people did.
yeah. But you're not lying about what the dagger can do. It sounds like just
No,
about
not
how you
lying
got it.
about what it can do, just how I got it.
Okay.
I wasn't hired to find an old man and then fought flesh monsters.
Make
No.
a mask roll with advantage.
Oh.
It's a failure.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks. He believes the story. He listens to it. But he thinks to himself and he says, "Such a blade. I think I can. I think he will offer you some ink drops to buy it after hearing it. Not as much as you might have hoped, though. Um, so he's gonna offer. Can you roll 2d100, and we'll round up to the nearest 25, I think. 75. He's going to offer 75 drops of ink for this dagger.
Not a chance. That's only one spell.
I know. It's not even one spell.
Isn't it? I thought it was
Oh, wait,
50
it is one
drops per
spell.
spell. It's one and
It's
a half
50.
spells.
Yeah.
Is it
He
enough
says,
to burn down the whole tower?
It might be. To be honest with you, it might be.
Yeah. Yeah, that is actually technically enough for like one big, like,
Big spell.
yeah, 50 drops to learn a new spell, but roughly 50 drops also to cast a max level spell.
Yeah. 75 drops to trap everyone in the grounds in a prison of your avenging memories. Memories of
true.
you getting
You're
yelled
gonna
at as a
underpay me for
child.
this knife.
You trap everyone else in.
I'm not sure I could let it go for that, but could I make a counter offer?
I'm listening. He more offers out of like politeness than sincerity.
Now, you yourself have said your gallivanting days are behind you, but as you can see, mine are quite forward in front of me, as I can prove with this blade. Now, perhaps you would like to invest in Camden Enterprises, as
You want him to hire you to get you more magic items?
Yeah, I want
Get
him to
him.
be an investor in my my business that is getting magic items. It's just that they're gonna be mostly his. So just getting some free ink out of him before the
Yeah. No, so with your previously failed mask roll, he's like, yes. I don't really have the interest, he had finally says out front, in investing in another venture right now, but if you find any more magic items, I'm absolutely open to buying them. I'm always interested in expanding my collection.
Right. Well, could I perhaps get a tour before I leave? Perhaps use the little warlock's room.
Use the little warlock's room. Yeah, this is one of those D&D maps where there isn't a bathroom.
No one needs to use them.
You
Yeah,
do
it's-
need to go pee behind a tree in.
Yeah, we have a specific part of the garden for that. No one goes there.
They didn't
I'm
want
a
to
little
dig an
piss shy, so I
outhouse.
need everyone to turn around.
Yeah, no,
They didn't- like I feel like a noble would have a restroom.
yeah, he
Did
would
they
have
really
a
not
restroom.
include a restroom?
No, I
Not on the
mean,
map.
no one remembers to add restrooms almost ever to
I mean,
D&D maps.
He could say, "Oh, it's out here," whatever out here is, if that's
Alright,
not
here's
like
the real
important.
question.
That's other
Is
quarters
this-
that also don't have a restroom.
Oh.
So,
Is this pre or post chamber pots? Where are we at as a society?
pipes exist. They're rare. He would have the ability, like he has a fountain. Like, yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean. He has a fountain.
He has a
He can have a toilet.
he has a functioning toilet.
Oh, this is
Where?
the rarest thing I've seen.
I'm assuming in the bed chambers.
There's probably
Or is that with the
one-
lounges?
There's probably one like down one floor. Like, let's say it's on this same floor. There's two guest rooms. That's probably where the bathroom would be too. Sort of in the middle floorish
Does he
So-
give me a tour or no?
of the whole place, or
Yeah, just like a tour of everything.
yeah.
I don't think he would do it. I think the best
he
route
would
against
not.
that butler.
You
Yeah.
you get brought to the restroom. I think like the butler brings you to the restroom.
Yes.
I think he's like, you can see that Tersar is starting to lose interest a bit in this. He's like, okay. He enjoyed his time talking to you, mostly because he was talking about himself a lot.
Yeah.
But he is like getting bored. So
I'll be sure next time I find something interesting, I'll bring it to you first. Good, sir.
Yes. Let my messengers or my guards or any of my staff know. Let them know what it is, and I will, if it is worthy of being added to my collection, we shall meet again.
Of course.
And,
That was a warlock's room.
yeah. The butler leads you down to the washroom, and then, like, is going to, afterwards, you're just going to be led straight out of the out of his compound.
Oh.
Okay.
Like, so he says
I will
goodbye
make-
to you now.
Yeah, I'll make an impression of the thing.
Yep, mark a use on your
Mhm.
kit, and
I
then
did.
perfect.
Can I also like make notes of like what it's specifically made out of? Is it gold? Is it like
Silver with a red gem in the middle.
silver with a red gem? Okay. Is it any specific kind of gem, or is it just a red gem?
You can tell that it is red.
I do have trade.
You do have trade.
Archive?
I think
This
this
might be
would
an
be
archive.
archive.
Shit.
Are you not as smart as me?
I have 2 archive.
Oh no, you're not nearly as smart as me.
Mm-mm. All right, here we go. With advantage because of trade.
Yeah,
Let's go! I did it.
nice. Okay, these amulets aren't as like, they're made of silver, which doesn't
It's cheap.
silver is a type of dirt in this.
Yeah.
So this
They're dirt necklaces.
yeah, and the red gems are similarly, they're not actually gemstones at all. They're colored glass.
Ooh. Okay.
So they are. The red gemstone is probably slightly more expensive than the silver around it, because you have sand of gold and silver, sand of actual dirt. You've got to get that from underground, probably.
So this seems
Okay.
like you could bribe a jeweler to make you this.
Yeah, like this seems fairly easily like counterfeitable.
Yes.
Is there
actually it
any
is.
heals of magic coming from it? Like,
The
I was
downside
told
is
no
if you do have a
previously.
copy of it, it's not really worth much to. It's not magical. I established that already.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's if you find someone else's version of this, it's not worth much money. That's actually the main reason is why it's so worthless.
Yeah.
Is so staff don't steal it or pawn it or something.
Yeah, but
But
we
if you
needed to
make
get in.
40 of them,
Yeah,
we could give a bunch of peasants and rats
and rats.
necklaces.
We give them little like collars that have the
Sure.
little gem on
The
it.
panther will have fun.
Yeah. That's why there's 6 of them. The panther will have to get through 6
Oh,
rats
after they
before it
dig,
gets to us.
after they dig in,
Yeah.
we don't need them anymore.
Yeah, that's true. We let them
We
run
gotta
wild.
end them
You're
like the
eventually
last
going to be
time.
known as the great betrayer to all of psychic rat kind.
By
Yeah,
rat
but what are they gonna do
community.
about it?
Psychically tell each other, and then, I don't know, maybe assassinate you.
Murder
I
us
don't
in
know.
a
They're
dungeon.
hyper intelligent psychic rats. They
Murder
don't
us in a
act.
dungeon.
Yeah. Maybe they can use
If
prison
we
hedging
get banned
memory.
from
Like,
the
my goal
underground,
is... Pardon?
if Felix gets us banned from going underground,
Hey, look. My intention was make friends with the rats and always has been. If I
you
get
told
us
them to dig
banned,
into
it's not
Panther Zone,
me.
though, where she goes and frolics every morning.
Underground, significantly lower than the below. That's the reason I'm sticking with them, to make sure the tunnel doesn't start sloping upward, or that
Yeah.
I've paced off how far it is before we need to stop digging.
Okay.
Okay. So I make the impression, I'm let out.
Yep.
We go back to our bar, our Chili's bar and grill.
You do.
Mhm.
You exchange
Yes.
notes. You exchange trophies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Here's your craw.
that night,
Ooh,
Oh,
I get this dirty bit of cat claw, and I tie a little string on it and stick it in a pocket.
Yeah, that's it.
perfect.
I relay
I do-
the Orthox the Shrewd, because that was a bug person, right? I don't know if
An
our
Yeah.
ear monk you were told about. He
ear
seems
monk.
to greatly look up to them and their stories of travel.
We should probably find his book,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because the clue to the vault door is in that book.
Yes, I assume we already have the code, but just in case we don't have the code.
Yes. I do spend the rest of the dinner asking you about the Panther's house.
It is a tree.
What does the nest look like? How
It's a
is it
tree.
perched in it?
It's a tree.
Oh. Um,
I lean over to see point out the window where you can see the tower. I
Yeah,
go,
you're in a
"That tree."
cafe in Hightown, looking
it's that tree. It's like, oh,
That's literally that one.
there's other nobles in the background discussing their exciting treasure hunt prospects that they've heard about, and yep.
Really? That's it? There's not like a
Yeah.
secret panther nest or anything with piles of. I thought there'd be piles of bones.
No,
No.
Kept quite clean.
she really is actually very friendly.
Do you mention
to
the
me.
third eye?
Oh yeah, it does have a third eye right here.
What?
Yep.
Does it do anything?
You never asked.
I did not
Did
ask.
it blink, or is it just like a
It
sticker?
did blink.
It did blink.
Oh, okay.
Well, now you need to
In
give your
hindsight, I
horse a
probably
third
should
eye.
have asked about it.
You probably should have asked about the third eye. I'm still not 100% what a panther is. I've
Apparently,
lived my whole life
They
in
don't
the
normally
desert.
have 3 eyes.
I've lived my whole life in the desert. I've seen ants and lizards and psychic rats.
Vultures probably too.
Yeah,
Weird-
vultures.
weird
I've seen a
equivalents of
vulture.
vultures.
Dino vultures. They have
Yeah.
teeth.
Or giant insect vultures. That sounds amazing.
Something between, I don't know, a weevil and corpse removal dung beetles. They push around giant balls of flesh.
Excellent.
Do we want to use this to take a little bit of a break?
In a second, but I was double checking.
Okay.
Felix, that night, you are continuing your dig, right?
I'm hoping to do a little library searching tomorrow, but this night, yeah, I want to make sure that they're focused, that the dig is going the right direction. Yeah.
Okay. At some point, the security guard comes to check on you and double checks, are you with this other noble who I met before?
I mean, I'm spending my time fully underground at this point. I am not.
Okay, I did mention before you occasionally have to come up to double check your bearings. Every few hours.
But you see, there's a thing in a toolkit called a compass, and while I might not have that toolkit, one of my friends does.
All
Which
right.
toolkit?
Navigation.
I do have a compass I can lend you.
Yeah, spend a
And
use if you want
I'm just
to.
gonna mark it used.
Yep.
Because I'm assuming you're just going to destroy my compass.
Probably.
In this
By the end of-
endeavor,
by
in
the
a
end of this
hole
dig,
with
yeah.
giant psychic rats.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm using the compass to basically make
Although,
sure it's going
in a
straight.
world, it makes sense. In a world where metal is more common than glass.
Yeah.
You know, because metal sand. I'm assuming it's more of a water compass, like, you know, the bowl of water with the
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
floating bit of whatever and the metal needle
like
and the magnetized
yeah.
metal needle on it, as opposed to like a modern style
compass.
glass compass.
I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure.
There's no sand.
We don't know
I'm
how
assuming
magnetic
it's
poles work in this with all of the metal. So,
That's a really good point. We have a compass,
compass
that
we
works.
have some kind of
The
compass. It might just be this magical box that yells when you're pointing north or something.
North.
Who knows?
It's like a radiation detector that just beeps louder as you get more north.
It's a beetle that is magnetically charged, and when you are facing north, it flutters.
No, it always will face north, just at all times. Like, it'll always just turn on its legs and rotate to face north.
Anyway, you use my compass.
Yeah. Whatever it is, you use it.
I want so much more details about this setting now that we've played it for a few weeks. Like, at a one-shot, the 7 facts were great. Like, they got you exactly what you needed to know.
Yeah.
But each episode, it's just like, I want more facts.
Fair. Well, they're out there. There are facts. There are in-depth things with multiple areas. Okay. So, yes.
I also spent part of the day pacing, okay, from this garden to there, how many steps does it take? Okay, now how many steps does it take for me to get from one end of this rope to the other end of the rope? Okay, so if I lay out 8 rope lengths,
You're being
it will get me
extremely
to
precise
where I
with
need to be.
distance and angle.
Yeah.
I did spend
Exactly.
some days doing mapping and stuff. That's why we got the map.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing you
starting
don't
point.
know is how deep down the
Because-
vault is.
That's a
Exactly. I
good
can't
problem.
walk underground, so that's why I'm kind of doing it by, okay, 8 rope lengths and then another half rope length. And we're kind of trying to keep it as least 6 feet underground, at least a little bit further, and just like, no, don't slope up, just down, rats.
Is it the goal to intersect the well?
Yeah, I think we're
I
trying
think
to get
if we
to the
can
well.
directly get into the well, yes. Like, if we can bypass everything, all right, it's apparently go time because there's nothing on the other side of this wall.
Okay.
But even if we can't and we have to pop up in the garden, that probably means that we can bypass the panther, maybe.
Okay.
No. I feel like if we enter the garden at all,
No, the
there
panther
will be a
already
panther fight.
be exactly where you are digging yourself up.
Yeah,
somehow.
it will literally be, if we pop up in the garden, it'll be the panther hears it and then goes and sits on
It
top of
waits.
the digging up, waiting.
Waits for a meal.
For someone to come out of a hole so he can pop it.
Yep.
That's something being a cranium rat.
Yeah.
That sounds edible. We will see. So I think, yeah, okay, you spent all day doing that. We'll go to break in a second. I think we're going to roll to see how accurate your tunnel is when you get to the other side of it, which will be several more days. The rats are digging quickly. Can you roll 2d6?
2d6. All right.
Are you looking for high or low?
You're looking for low. This is the number of days it's going to take you.
Excellent.
Okay,
Hey.
it'll take you 5 days. It was possible, but very unlikely, that it would take longer than, like, it'll take too long to dig the tunnel if you rolled a 11 or 12. But, nope, the rats are going at a good pace. 5 more days. Sounds like a lot,
Now,
but I
is this
suspect the
5
days
more
are going to start
days
passing
of-
quickly.
If I spend the time, okay, we're with the rats every single day, not leaving them alone, is that going to go
That is
not faster,
what
but
I'm
more
assuming you're doing.
accurately? Okay.
Um,
It is.
Yeah, that is what I'm assuming. If you're not with the rats, they're not going to dig in a... They're going to...
Specific direction.
Reliable fashion.
They're not... Well, yeah, that's just going to get...
They're gonna look
messy.
for roots and bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
gonna follow their nose if you're not with them.
Yep.
Got it.
Cool. So let's go to break and we'll be back in a few minutes. And I think by the end of this session, our goal is to get into the place.
Yeah, I think that's the goal.
Yep.
Okay. Then let's go to break.
Goal keyword.
Welcome back, us, with episode 4. We're on 4 of part 2, episode 4 of the Electrum Archive. You guys have started a rat tunnel digging operation. You met with the guy you're going to steal from and had a very nice lunch. One of you did. You stole a panther claw shaving, and I think have been studying. I think now one of you is going to go to the library.
Or the jewelers. We're busy.
Or the jewelers.
Yeah, I've now been delegated to legwork.
Yeah. So now we have 9 days remaining, I believe.
While our fighter does crafts and our rogue does digging.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm the foreman, thank you very much.
Foreman.
That's a good point. Yes, foreman. Supervisor.
Yes.
All right. Who wants to go first with their thing? This might go quickly. Our goal is to
I carve a
access the site.
golem figurine.
Yeah, you carve a golem figurine. That's good.
Getting the expression of pain and servitude on his face does take me all afternoon.
You're trying to capture its soul.
Yeah, literally.
Metaphorically.
Or the game magic won't work.
Colin, what do you do?
I think first stop will probably be I'll go to the library.
Excellent. What are you researching?
I look into the old monk bug guy. The Orthox the Shrewd.
Orthox the Shrewd. All right. This is going to actually be surprisingly difficult to find. Please make an archives check.
Can I counter with mask?
Let me double check before I say anything.
Aren't you gonna bully a librarian?
Yeah, I want to bully a librarian doing the work for me. And I'm gonna pitch it as this this like buried treasure thing
You
that
may
I've started.
okay, yeah. You can make an archives or a mask check. So yes.
Okay.
With trade, you can get advantage.
Okay, cool. I do that.
You're using the setup
do it.
of your treasure hunt.
Yeah, I'm using the setup of my treasure hunt to bully a librarian and offering them a cut of the gallon, the sacred gallon,
Perfect.
if I find it.
That's a success, I believe. So,
Yes.
here's some things you learn. By default, it will cost 7 days and 30 drops to acquire this book. It literally needs to be imported, a copy of it from outside of the city. Because of your successful masks check, the time that it takes, not the cost is 30 drops. The time it takes from 7 days, you have dropped it to 6 days. If you want, you may, and every additional 30 drops you spend can reduce the time by an additional 1 day to literally purchase expedited shipping.
I look at my vial and see 11 drops.
Not to metagame too much, but if the game includes a mechanical system to achieve the book, I do reckon it's valuable to the mission.
Where are they importing it from?
I don't know. I will just say that as a GM. It is being
Library Depot.
No, I am wondering if they're importing it again. I'm from the bug people who this is about, and if we can find a way to get a discount or expedited shipping through another method there.
That's fair.
Or instead of waiting, could I try and schmooze my way among high society to see if anyone has a book about
Have like
this
has a
guy.
private collection of among
Yeah.
the private collection.
Yeah.
Um,
I think you spend the day at the library
you
finding
spend
this
a
out
day
anyway.
finding this out. So in the future day, you can spend future days attempting to further reduce the time it would take to find the book. I think that I don't think the 30 drops is negotiable though. You were either paying the bug people or paying someone to import it or even paying a noble a borrower's fee, which for them that wouldn't be that much for someone who is wealthy enough to have this book.
Right. So either way, we're gonna need 30 drop. We gotta drop
Either
30
way, it's 30
bucks.
drops. It's just how many days does it take you to as well.
I've got 35. I'm not keen to spend it on the book at this point. I'm not sure it's worth it.
I would have a gander that it is important.
I can commit 10 drops to this book endeavor.
I could commit 10, but then I have 1 drop and I have no spells.
That's a good point.
Well,
do we want to? Yep, that was today. Are we spending 30 drops?
I don't think we're spending 30 drops at library because 6 days worth of shipping it in feels like it would take too long. Because our things are now done in 4 more days. Like this is the second day of digging, and that's done in 5 days. So we've got 3 days. So 6 days would extend that annoyingly.
Here's a question about our shivers.
okay.
Can they dig through anything?
You've seen them dig through solid stone.
Can they dig through anti-magic metal?
Probably not.
We know
Now,
that the door is made of that. We don't know that the
Right.
entire room is.
So let me do some art. So if we assume that this is probably a big assumption, but
It already sounds like it is. If you're starting with,
I try to find a good place where I could like just
let me
draw.
switch this. Hold on.
Here?
Where?
Just go here
Oh.
and then
Nope,
draw.
never mind.
Okay, so if we assume the vault is like this, right? Like this is the front door of the vault, right? It's built into the
Sure.
rock, right?
Yeah.
We could maybe go around it with the shivers, right? Because I assume like it's not like he doesn't have like a giant box that is surrounded in this anti-magic stuff, right?
Right, I hear you. But the 5 days is to get us like intersecting with the well generally, and then
Mhm.
from there we make our way into the vault room.
Right.
We would have to get from our tunnel to the
Mhm.
vault door and then spend another night and probably full day. We wouldn't be allowed to leave, otherwise we die. Guiding the shivers around to create this very specific like tunnel.
Oh, yeah. So
So it just seems like that would be an extra day. I do think we have to classically bypass this vault door as
Yeah.
opposed to our dig crew, just because logistically the dig crew
Mhm.
will get us in trouble. Like when we breach, it's go time, and we are
Got
on
it.
a very short
Yeah.
clock before someone goes and investigates what's
Someone with
going on
3
with the
eyes
well.
mentally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as we breach, we're on a ticking clock.
I mean, the goal is to breach past the door, but I do think that it's a ticking clock if we fail, and I don't know how lucky we will be to get past the door. I think that would be some pretty
Yeah.
phenomenal luck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or we could
Other things we
save.
could do to attempt to make this easier is you could spend a day, I don't know, killing guards would raise the alarm.
Yes. Yes, it would.
Um I don't know, doing
There's
something
spears
horrible to
raining
the
from both.
yeah. doing
So-
something about the guards to lower the general alarm level, like something that makes them feel safe and comfortable. I don't
Okay,
know.
Bake them a neighborly
Sausages?
is
Is
Give
there
them rations.
what do I know about the anti-magic metal?
Null silver?
Yeah.
Make an archives check.
How about what do we know about the
Yeah, what do
anti-magic
you guys
metal?
know about the null silver?
Yeah, this is while you're meeting up after, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll
One of
make
you
a-
can make an archives check, let's say with advantage because of helping. Who's doing it?
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the
Whoever has
librarian.
the higher archive.
That's me.
What is your archive?
6.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm smart.
So let me double check if I can see anything
Archives
else.
what I need to make horses, okay? So I'm leveling up. I'm increasing the project horse. Everything is in.
Yeah, null silver is extremely expensive. It doesn't just block magic directly. Being in the vicinity of it automatically causes spells and magic to fail. It's not
That's
just
why
like
the
it's not just
golem
immune
doesn't
to
go
magic.
down there.
It has its own anti-magic aura around it.
Got it. So
Um,
if I tried to melt it with magic, it would not work.
No, you wouldn't be able to get the spell off in the first place, let alone it doing
Okay.
anything.
So this
Even
is
if you
all
cast a
has to be
spell from a
done by.
distance, it would just like stop. It would cease to exist as you got closer.
Got it. Got it.
So there are a couple things that occur to you about null silver as you're thinking about it. Firstly, with an archives check, you do not know for sure because it's not clear if it's magic or not, but there is a potential risk after you breach that the aura I don't think you can dig directly into the vault, or you think there's a risk you won't be able to. The null magic might interfere with the psychic link of the rats.
It's also true.
It's not clear if
Okay.
it's magic or not. No one has studied the rats well enough to have any like public studies of it that you know about. But like, it's very risky if you want to rely on the rats to dig around there. So you could try it, but you do know there's a big risk. You also null silver in terms of like sourcing it. It's so it's like this the vault door. You it's virtually like it's exceptionally expensive. Obviously, no one like there's a secret probably like guild of workers that is able to manipulate and craft things of null silver. No one knows how they work. No one knows their trade secrets. Null silver seems to effectively be it might as well be adamantium for like it cannot be moved and touched. It is believed there's rumors all sorts about it, but the like commonly believed rumor about it is that large intact chassis of the ancient crash spaceships of the Elder is those were plated with null silver back in the day. And the rare parts of them that weren't destroyed, like a crashing spaceship is a whole nother level of destruction, so that probably did like break the null silver, one way or another, and chunks of that is what people believe is where null silver comes from, like
So what you're
salvaged over the
saying
centuries. It's extremely
is if we
valuable.
can
It's also way
steal
too.
the door,
Yeah,
Steal the
it is
door.
worth more than anything else in this
it
vault.
probably is.
But the real question is, how
But
do
it's
we?
also effectively
I know.
immovable, and it's also so unique that you will never sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone want to spend a kingdom's worth of money on a door? Anyone want the most expensive door in town?
It's like, to be clear, it is very expensive. It's
Not the most
probably
expensive door in town?
I don't know if it's the most expensive door in town. There's a lot of expensive doors in town.
Okay.
What I will say is, um, it's probably about as maybe not the door alone, but like the door and the vault and the things inside it altogether are probably worth as much of as the rest of the compound put together. Maybe the tower, actually, with how much work's gone into the garden, then it's maybe just worth as much as the tower itself.
Yeah. A $4 million door. Cool.
Yeah.
One thing I'm considering when it comes to the rats is maybe dig a bunch of breach points of, all right, this one came out the wrong spot. Let's punch through here in like 2 seconds. Okay, nope, wrong. Next. So spend an extra day doing that. But
Mm,
yeah,
Um,
feels like a good way to lose a rat or 5.
yeah. Um, from what we know about the lock, let's see here.
There's a tile puzzle.
It's a puzzle
And
lock, right?
You know there is some
yeah,
kind of tile related puzzle.
we know there's a tile puzzle. We know bug book is important. Um,
Could
and we know 3 numbers.
could we circumvent having to go through the book if we know probably that information is in the book? So can we find people who have read the book and ask them about tiles that are in the book?
You
Is that what you
can.
do the
That would
next
take
day?
roughly as long as it would take to get the book. So
Ugh.
if you want to, so you can try that. You would not have to spend the 30 drops, but you would have to make a roll to get the information you're looking for. And if you fail the roll, you've wasted like 5 or 6 days, like 6 days.
I think we got to go on the assumption that we got the number.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
we also need those. We also need those necklaces.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was caught. He had the numbers and he was caught, and we still don't know how. I'm not sure I trust those numbers like at all.
He wasn't caught.
Well, he's disappeared, and
He
that was the whole
vanished.
reason that the
That's
lady
what you know.
was
He
frustrated.
vanished.
But we don't know if he knew about. Did he know about the panther? Did he know about the golem? Right? Like any one of these things could have taken him out immediately.
Did that panther have 3 eyes last week?
Flesh crafting, yeah? No?
Could be.
So, that's the next day, I think, because the rest of you guys do studying, golem studying, and rat herding. Okay. Then the eighth
So
day
2 days left.
8 days remaining. The next
2
day
days left on
dawns.
your dig.
Yes.
2 days left on the dig, and we are pretty sure that the golem is synced.
And you can always pause the dig if you want to, like, wait until you have the book, if that's the thing you decide to do.
Like, it's 2 days, and then we can decide, okay, are we breaching on this day or where? Or what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go make copies of the amulet now.
Okay. So you make copies of the amulet. I think
$5?
that make a
It's-
trade a masks roll with advantage from trade. This is more of a matter of getting it done cheaply. That's obviously a success. Okay. They're cheap enough that you can get like 3 copies of the amulet made for 1d4 drops. Like they're not. It has to be done carefully, but it only costs you 2 drops.
All right, I'll do it.
Perfect.
I have 9 drops.
Okay. It'll be done tomorrow, basically. You can go pick it up. That won't cost your whole day tomorrow. But it'll, as part of whatever else you're doing tomorrow, you can pick those up. Indigo, you're continuing to study the golem, I assume?
Yeah, because I get done the same time the dig does.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I figure if we have If we have to fight the golem, I'm gonna need the extra damage.
Okay. And Marissa, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, rat herding is going
Okay.
on.
Another day
I mean,
passes.
also
Yes.
with the golem, if we get toward the vault, I think the golem can't get close to the vault.
Yeah,
No, I don't think
the
it can.
well room's a no-go for the golem.
Yeah, it's too big.
We know that already.
Well, it doesn't patrol there. It could
right.
be
Now
ordered
we know
in
why.
there.
No, it can't. It'll die.
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
it's
now
a
we know
magic
why.
robot,
That's true.
which makes the no patrol zone in the servants' quarters suspicious, but we're not gonna poke that bear.
You know, if we have the amulets, we can tell the golem what to do. It's just
I don't.
rude, right? So we tell it
I
to
mean,
walk in the no-go zone, and then it turns off.
we could swap amulets, but I'm not sure the fake amulets will let us give orders.
Is that? It seemed like if you wear an amulet, you can tell it like simple things to do. You just can't like undo.
Probably
Admin
laws of
programming.
robotic style thing.
That's
you
for you
can't
to
tell
find
to
out.
do
Yeah,
anything that'll
it's
harm
probably not that
itself.
simple.
Yeah.
But-
Probably have to make a roll every time you tell the golem to do anything. Realistically,
So
Yeah.
you, the next day begins. We know what two of you are doing, but Colin, what are you up to?
Have we decided if we're doing the book or no?
I don't think we can afford to do the book. Can we?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what we could look into that has to do like. Can
we just
I?
gossip with the ear and say, "Hey, what do you know about this old historical figure?"
I think
You
that
want to
was
spend a day
basically.
doing that, or okay?
I was thinking, can we? Can I like go into like a seedy bar and see if I can find someone who knows how to pick puzzle locks?
Okay, you're looking for sort of a general expert.
Yeah. Like I don't know how rare puzzle locks are. Like if we can't get the code, we can't get through the door.
Yeah,
Why don't we pick the lock?
make a
looking for advice.
yeah, make a masks check. I think. Let me double check masks if there's a different stat that's specifically about socializing that isn't persuasion, but I'm pretty sure it's just masks. Let me research intentions. Yeah. Make a masks check. I don't think you're using influence here.
I'm talking about tricks of the trade.
I don't think that's what it intends when it says trade. I think
It really doesn't.
No, I don't think this is advantage.
Let's go.
That's still a success. All right. So, you do actually learn something. You get someone like no one can help you except someone who's like gonna do one of those. You didn't hear it from me. They like come back later after you're leaving the bar in failure. Someone approaches me
Yeah.
and being like, yeah. Say that like, okay, there's one trick to some of these puzzle locks that you don't tell lots of them are like fancy and pretty and gorgeous, and you take a crowbar to them and you yank the tiles up and you can take a look at what's underneath and see how it works. The whole tile thing, it's just a series of buttons. So you can pull the tiles out. You can examine them. You might be able to deduce the correct order of pressing the buttons by looking at the machinery underneath.
You're telling me that hypothetically this would be an archive roll, perhaps?
Hypothetically, might be an archive roll, and it would take some time.
Excellent.
Yes,
this is
comes
all.
with the crowbar.
Yeah, this is all just intellectual curiosity.
Of course.
I don't know you. You don't know me. Goodbye. Good day, sir.
Good day. Yeah, no, they leave.
Yeah, so we pry up the pretty tiles and deal with it.
Perfect. Okay.
All right, I think that's our plan. The next day pick up the things, and I think we breach that night.
What day is it?
Like after the next day will be 6 days remaining. Is that your question?
Yeah, 6 days remaining is the day that breaching will happen.
Yes.
And
If we
Golem will be
don't choose
done,
to do
and I
anything
could
else.
pick up the amulets.
So the night of the 6th, essentially.
Yep. All right. The night of the 6th, you're right, it is going to be the night. So I technically,
Yeah.
Colin, you can still do one thing during the day if you want.
Ooh. I want to do something that's gonna like
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
go on.
Add to your treasure thing. Get the guards away from here. Do a treasure thing. Report a sighting or like
The next
You want to
something.
clue has dropped from like
Yes.
lower the
Yes.
alarm level.
Yeah,
Yeah, can I do something to lower alarm?
absolutely. Um,
By
I-
raising it across town.
or like make say something. Yeah, like the what was that? What's the book filled with Ready Player One kind of style?
Oh.
Like the next chapter of the treasure hunt has dropped and been made
Someone has
public.
found the second egg.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Second
lie.
nugget of wisdom.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Ooh,
spread that rumor around.
I have an idea.
Mhm.
Find another dig site that another noble is genuinely trying to find. Plant a fake clue there to the next.
Ooh, yeah, I do that. I do
Okay.
that.
We have some old rusty Knoll cultist crap.
I think we do.
sorry, cultist stuff?
Yeah, from the dungeon.
Oh no, yeah, that's what you meant by yeah,
Yeah.
Knowlish.
Put it in one of their dig sites. Find someone's hole and just shove some of the rusty crap we dragged out of the old dungeon into that hole as a gotcha.
Yeah.
To make them think there's something there.
Let's do that.
Okay. You're still trying to socially manipulate someone, in a weird way. So I think this could be masks.
Yes. Influence?
Yes, I think in this case
Okay.
because of the people that you're influencing. All of the like.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, alarm level is lowered by 1. As the call goes out, the direction of the like, okay, we have it. I think it's gonna be in like a totally different district, probably not one we've been in before. No, actually, that's not true. If you're putting Nola stuff in there, yeah, a bunch of nobles like go into the hollows, the like
like
the slums full of Nolish
Yes.
tombs, and start digging around and poking around and causing trouble and like, yeah,
Excellent.
hooliganing. That night, Marissa, please make an archives check.
We haven't rolled yet, have we? We're just all in the tunnel. They're like, I think we're here.
Yep.
Hold on. I'm finagling stuff with my backpack before we go in, so
That's
I
a
can
good
put
idea.
stuff in my backpack on the way out.
Marissa,
Yeah.
you've been
You know what,
working hard at this. You've been making sure you've been measuring. Let's see how well this pays off.
With advantage?
For
The compass and the rope.
the company, yeah, with advantage.
Okay. All right. Yes, we're fine. My archives is 5.
Okay.
Nice.
So you were aiming for directly under the well, correct?
I mean, ideally, I was aiming for directly into the vault,
You
but
don't
everyone
know
has said
where the
that's
vault
unlikely.
is, actually.
I think we're aiming for the well.
Yeah.
The more
Yeah.
realistic answer is what I'm going
Okay.
to go with.
So, you enter. You breach to an immediate damp smell. Like, there's a few things you notice as soon as you breach. The first is the sound of dripping, of like, of not dripping, the sound of water, I guess, existing. Like it's still water, but you can kind of tell based on the moistness and not really a splash, but I think as you
Ambient
breach,
sounds.
yeah, ambient sounds. Maybe some of like
breached-
dust or tiny rocks and pebbles splash into water. You hear like miniature splashes that then echo in this chamber.
Yeah, we
you're
breached a wall, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You also, here we are, hear faint, echoing, garbled moaning when you
Does it
breach.
sound human?
Possibly.
I light a torch.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not bring my torches because I
Yeah.
have more room in my backpack that way.
I hand it to the wizard because I need both hands for stabbing.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
dark.
I
The
have-
torch is needed. Inside,
I have
you're
sword
in
in one hand and a hailer in the other.
yeah,
And I go,
you're in a
Put
like
the inhaler. You can't afford that torch.
you're in a natural cave. The well is directly above you. Luckily, that's what the water is for. You can see there is a single natural tunnel going out of this cave. And let me make sure I review this. Yep, review this area. This is where you are.
ooh,
Next to this pool of water is a creature that is shying away from you as you crumble in here. You see a single bloodshot eye uh, gazing towards you amongst a mass of folded skin and what looks like twisted molten limbs.
does the eye look
Looks-
familiar?
I don't.
Is it
does
in
it-
a panther?
Did it have two eyes and now only has one, or is it like one Cyclops eye?
It's human sized, but it's a singular eye.
Okay,
Like
so
Cyclops
Cyclops.
eye thing doesn't really have an easily distinguishable face, though. It's just like this mass of flesh with a single, like, quarter-sized eye.
Hmm.
May I
Do I-
offer
can I
it
roll-
rations?
Before you approach, can I see what this is? I use my big boy library brain.
Yeah, make an
and try to
archives
see if I
check.
know what the...
Um,
Yeah, that does sound like a good first step.
nice. You know that this used to be a person who has been mutated into this terrifying creature.
Hmm.
Wait, I call out the name of the guy that went missing.
Did you learn the name?
Hey, that was people.
Yeah, we did. We
Yeah.
went and talked to his
We went to
mom.
talk to the old lady.
You're right. Yes, Tyrus.
I'm pretty sure she would have told us
Tyrus.
him her name.
I think Tyrus is what we went with. Cool. Yeah.
And once that's communicated to me, like this is a mutated person, then I will say
Yeah.
the name.
The eye blinks and then like starts shuffling towards you grossly and squelchily.
I give it rations.
Okay. It doesn't have a mouth that you can tell, but it kind of like falls on top of the rations and somehow absorbs them.
That seems to go well.
I say Crivens as it is located on my little calendar of old timey words to bring back.
Excellent.
Uh,
It after devouring the rations, which takes a couple minutes probably, Tyrus stares at the three of you. Your I almost said cranium rats. Your shivers are like looking around and they're kind of like approaching this creature. They can't tell if it's food or not. They're
I
always
gesture
hungry.
them back and like send them back to the hole for the moment. Like,
All right.
no.
I think after your commands, they seem to realize, oh, we're done for the day. It's break time. They're like
time.
gonna go back to their sleep. While you were gone, halfway through the tunnel, they've dug a like nest there, so
Yes.
they go back there and sleep.
That was entirely the intention, so great.
Okay,
Tyrus, can you speak, man?
you get one blink.
Oh God, no! We have to do this shit again. All right. Give, I'm going to communicate with you. 1 blink for yes, 2 blinks for no. Can you
Yep.
understand me?
You get 1 blink.
Excellent. Is this the code to the vault? I tell him 082.
So, you get 1 blink and then 2 blinks.
So kind of.
1 blink.
Is there a
Do
second?
you know what the code to the vault is?
1 blink and then 2 blinks.
Kind
I
of.
think he
Okay.
made it halfway in.
All right. Would you be willing to help us rob the place?
1 blink.
Excellent. Tally forth. I hand him the torch.
He doesn't have hands.
Oh, he doesn't have hands?
No, this
He's
is
like
blob
flesh
person.
slime.
It's
Oh, he's just a blob.
yeah, no.
Yeah, no bones.
It's not
no
like
bones.
it doesn't. Yeah, no easily distinguishable bones or limbs. It's like he's kind of rolling and shuffling. The closest analogy I can think of is that horrifying creature from Made in Abyss.
Nope, but I can
Made
already
in
imagine.
Abyss.
Oh, don't Google it if you don't know. That's
Horrifying.
not a safe thing.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah.
That
Mm.
also was a person once.
The snake looking guy,
Oh
or
no.
Most likely everything. That show is a thing.
this looks cute and horrifying.
That
at the
is
same
the
time.
show.
Does it do that?
Yep. Give me just a second while I'm gonna pull it up.
My headcanon is just this little thing.
Yeah. Here we go. Mitty,
This is my headcanon.
Mitty is the absolutely horrifying creature. And actually, this creature from Made in Abyss is more humanoid looking than the blob thing that you are
Oh,
seeing.
I got it right.
Yes. Yeah, that is, you did get it right, but the thing from Made in Abyss is less gelatinous than this. It's yeah. So roughly though, it's the same. No limbs though, at all.
All right.
All right. Horrifying.
But that's where you find yourself, and there's there's technically a way up, and there's a way to the bottom left on the map, southwest.
And then the way we came in.
What was this guy's name
Technically,
again?
yes. Tyrus. I'll put it in chat.
Tyrus.
Yeah.
Is. Wrong vowel. Okay. I say, Tyrus, would you lead the way? Because you perhaps know where all the traps are.
Well, up to a certain point.
I mean, sure, it'll lead the way.
Is there anything that we should know that you're having difficulty telling us?
I think it blinks no.
Okay.
I don't think
Thank
there's
you
any.
for your candor.
Yeah.
All right. As soon as we're done here, we'll bring you back to your grandma?
Mother.
Making a lot of promises again.
Listen, if
Look,
he dies,
promises
it's
are
fine.
the way.
All right. So Tyrus starts leading you down the tunnel into the next part of this natural cave. Inside it, it seems like a relatively empty place, except for it's a large empty chamber with a small stone pedestal in the middle, bearing a silver conch shell.
No one touched that.
There we go.
That's probably what happened to Tyrus.
Did you touch the shell, Tyrus?
It blinks. Yes.
Was it
Does it take your
bad?
bones?
Yeah, is
It
touching the
blinks.
shell bad?
It blinks no, and then blinks yes. It blinks it blinks like it's more. It blinks yes and no.
Okay.
Random mutation conch.
It blinks no.
Is okay.
Are we going to have to pick it up and bring it with us in order to get into the vault?
It blinks no.
Okay. Do we need the conch?
It blinks no.
Then what the fuck is the conch for?
What's the conch?
It can't answer that.
All right. Carry on.
Wait, I must know. I would like to investigate the conch, not touching the conch.
Okay. It is so the silver conch shell looks like it's part of the pedestal. It looks like the pedestal is stone and the conch shell is silver, but it looks like it's been like embedded into it. It's not clear if it is like it doesn't look easily pick upable. It looks like it's part of the pedestal. It's been embedded into it or set into
Does
it.
it have any
Is it null
cultural
silver?
or historical significance?
Make an archives check. And Marissa, what was your question?
Is it null silver? Is that something that we can obviously tell?
You can't obviously tell it. I think even warlocks wouldn't be able to tell if something's null silver without trying to see, like cast a spell. What I will say though is, let me check something. Okay. There is a large metal but not null silver door to the south that is slid to the side with the tunnel leading into another room that the torchlight isn't quite revealing.
Got it.
Do we need to? I asked the flesh Arcturus. Do we need to move this pillar in some sort of way to unlock the vault?
It blinks no, and it looks ready to move on, but
All right.
Does
Okay.
the conch open the door?
it blink. The door's already open. Actually, the door down, like
Yeah.
down here, is open by
Yeah.
default.
Yeah. Is this something that you have already dealt with?
It blinks. Yes. After like a delay, it blinks yes.
Okay, you got to
Ah.
think about it. All right. Sally forth.
Yeah, tally ho.
All right. Perfect.
I continue forward, watching for traps.
Yep.
Good specifying.
Yep. Oh, good idea. Inside, the next room is a large circular chamber with a tile puzzle in the center. The vault door is made of a bluish metal, which you can identify as null silver to the south. And there's a puzzle floor on the made of decorative stone tiles in the middle. In the ceiling above the puzzle floor are 8 different holes.
In the ceiling?
In the ceiling above in the ceiling of this chamber. This chamber is so the metal door behind you, or ordinary metal, like probably steel or something, or even Electrum, because that's a thing, is built into a brick wall. So like the part of the chamber here, I think is surrounded by, it's probably natural stone that's just after, that has then been like smoothed out and layered with brick or other things if that was even needed. But it's definitely a lot more artificially carved than the natural cave in the previous 2 rooms. Could have even been with magic, honestly.
Tiris, if we get the combination wrong, is that what happened to you?
It blinks once for yes.
Excellent. All right, so
And then it
we don't
backs
want
out
to-
of the room.
I follow it. I want to kind of map and figure out, okay, if we needed to re-breach right here, how could we get there while we're playing with Puzzle Lock?
Okay, that'll take you some
Examining-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's examine this puzzle.
All right. So
Yeah,
you can see it
let's
clearly.
take a crowbar and then
Before you take a crowbar to it, that'll take some time. But you can spot, like, the puzzle is covered in symbols, every single tile, and looks like this.
Oh no.
Oh, that's not an 832.
What? Okay, so I don't like the skull. The skull is probably bad. There's a two-headed giant guy. There is two eyes.
Hey, there's a bug person.
Yeah. How does the mechanics of this puzzle work? Is it spinning? Do we
It
push
is
buttons?
totally
You have to, like-
stationary right now.
So,
Otherwise, you don't know.
all right.
It's,
But looking at it doesn't gleam any
you can tell
details
it
on
looks
how
like
to
it
interact
doesn't look
with the
like it will
puzzle.
spin. The tiles look like they're pretty set where they are.
Okay, does it look like we have to step on the right tiles?
How would you be able to tell if that was the case?
Get down on the floor to see if they're like raised at all?
Okay, they're all roughly equally raised.
Okay. So we might have to step on them.
Pressure plates.
Let's not step on any of the ones that look like a two-headed person or squiggly bones.
Wait,
I
hold on. We
quiz-
can ask Tyrus what once he's done.
Yeah, that.
He can't really
You do
point.
this one.
Okay, you're
No,
gonna
but
do
we
like
can
one
and then
by one by one.
describe.
All right, hold on.
Yeah. Have you done this one? Have you done this one? Have you done this?
Okay, perfect. So I think keep that in mind.
How long we're taking, I feel comfortable
Don't
about
mind
that.
me.
It's like the GM rolling a bunch of dice behind the screen.
Yeah, clickety clack. It's fine. So you ask Tyrus which one he did, like one by one, and he
Yeah, we just
points.
asked, have you done this one? Have you done that one?
Let
Have
me
you done
double
this one?
check exactly because he is going to point out what he
Blink out.
attempted.
And once he says, I did that one, ask, was it good or was it bad?
Probably bad.
Well, it would be good to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So I'm going to point out what he did. I'll have to describe it. But I think actually instead of doing that, I'll put it on the map. And I'll
Yeah, that
describe
might
what he
be-
did. So I'll
If
reveal
you want,
this
you could.
area and I'll put it here. There we go.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Let's upload it. Yep. Bit big, just slightly big. There we go. Put it into the map layer. Okay.
No, that works great, actually.
And I'll freehand what he describes.
As best he describes.
As best as he can describe it.
We are woefully unprepared for this puzzle.
We
Well, that's why
crowbar it up.
we're gonna crowbar it up.
Yeah. I don't know what any of this means. I thought there'd be numbers.
Yeah.
Combination
I was
lock
even
style.
trying to count, but like, where's 0? Do we just skip the innermost row?
I mean,
And then
there's
do
phases of the
8 and
moon on the
6?
outside, so maybe 0 is like a new moon. The thing that's really catching me is
No,
the
that's
bug
not
person
actually
on the
right.
middle because of the book, what it was about, but
Let me check something before I give you the answer because I'm trying to double check.
There isn't a new moon.
right here, I think.
There's full moon, there's half, there's wax and wane. But a black circle would be a new moon.
Yeah.
Instead, we
These
have the
will-
sun.
These lines, like the gaps in the platform, feel like they're lined those up somehow. Oh, right, but it doesn't spin.
No, I think. Yeah, dude, how are you supposed to figure this shit out?
We have a combination, and we're looking
Yep,
at
I'm
this
double
thing.
checking something. Yep. So I'm double checking it. Frankly, I have the GM notes, and it's hard to map the numbers. Is what I will say.
Oh, so
Oh,
they
yeah,
are
go
numbered. Okay.
8 around, 3 around, but you can't go 0 around.
Okay, so they're
Where
all
you
12.
start? Where does starts? They're all 12. Yeah.
Mhm.
Where does 0 start though? Like, where is square 1? Do we go up from the point of the lighthouse and then clockwise? But like,
If we get
that feels
here,
weird.
here, that's 3 squares from where we could go in, and then 0 squares to go to the center.
Where are you getting 3 from?
I don't know. I don't have the code.
It's
The
086.
numbers are
it's under
086.
That seems important for me to know, and that's why I'm wandering the tunnels trying to make sure we have new breach points.
Yeah, so just to ask, so this thing is like in a brick wall?
Yeah. Basically,
Okay.
everything past there is like worked stone. It's no longer natural.
Okay,
Yes,
and
but
then
worked stone that things can still get through, which is why I'm hoping.
right. Well, I was gonna ask, is this also worked stone next to the null silver?
So this is from the outside in the order of buttons he says that he pressed.
Okay, so that's just what he did.
He doesn't know what the
8,
combination
6.
is.
Okay.
Oh, so wait. So you advance 0 steps in the first ring, like around the horn. And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you advance 6 steps on the next ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He went one too far. He was supposed to go in from lion. Or
Hold on.
I'm wrong and we all die.
That's also assuming. Okay, can we ask him? Do you
The
know
path
that you
drawn
start
here
at the
is
sun?
He blinks no. In fact, if
Okay.
I'll shorthand things, he after a few questions, you clarify he doesn't know what he did wrong.
He doesn't know what he did wrong. Okay. Would you be willing to try one more time?
Oh, he's not. He's not. He is not entering the room. Basically,
Okay.
like maybe briefly to point out the buttons, and then he backs off again.
Do you want to start carving tile?
he did the 6. I was wrong.
So, okay, hold on. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
number.
just pry this thing up.
All right, perfect. So I'm gonna need someone. So this will take quite a bit of time. To pry it up.
I'd say replicate it nicely next to it, just in case we can still figure something out from this. But
Lovely. So, you start frying it up, but before you can finish,
Oh no.
nothing bad happens at all.
someone roll me a d6, please.
Is that good or bad?
There's a flash in the other room, the one where the silver conch is, and standing there is
I mean-
Tersar. No, that's not true. Actually, no, it has to. Yeah, standing there is Tersar himself, completely astonished to see you, as surprised as you are to see him. It's the middle of the night. He's wearing like a bathrobe, and like he looks like he was not prepared for this.
I immediately
Speed.
use the ghost dagger.
I think let's roll speed then. So I'm gonna divide us up into some zones. I think we have gonna
I
have.
was in around not this room, so I'm actually thinking I might have been
You're
near
probably over
Truthar
here.
himself. Yeah.
Oh, you're like
I
in
think
Either
this
here?
will probably be another zone.
I mean, I'm at the very least in between these two rooms. But I would love to start near Truthar. It's fine.
You can.
With, a spear in one hand and a vial of go to sleep potion in the other.
You're gonna go to sleep. I assume we could have had the torch on the ground, so we had both our hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
I'm sure
the
there's a
other two of
sconce,
you were picking
actually.
are like in this zone
Yeah.
or this zone,
Yeah.
picking up tiles.
I'd assume we would go from this way, this way.
But yeah, we
So
might
we're
need a
probably
few
here.
more zones because I am me.
Fast.
You are. I'm drawing larger
Uh,
zones than you were, but I
Sure.
mean,
If it's
there's a
one zone for
probably
me to get
here.
out to the rat tile, I'm good with that.
There's one zone there. But Marissa,
Okay.
you were where did you say you were narratively when this happened?
In between one of these two rooms.
In the tunnel in between it, like that, you wouldn't be able to see what's going on at all, and you'd be in pitch black unless you were using your own torch.
Okay, then I would have assumed that we've probably worked my way out and was coming back then, so this room.
Okay. Zone. And there's probably.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, I don't think that's significant enough to have it. So, yeah, that's just an extra big zone because I don't think there's much else in the back. Cool. Actually, I'll move this one up. But he is on. I think no. I'll move that back down to where. Cool. So then he. We have 2 successes. Marissa, do you need to roll for speed anymore? Did you take a talent that says you want?
I do need to roll for speed. Sorry.
Okay, based on
Wait,
the
you
weapon.
could get a talent that just says no. I go first.
Yeah.
I will.
Mixers
I'm
can.
good because I think it's roll for speed and it's roll 5. So
Unless you're using a weapon, then it's based on your weapon speed.
I was not using a weapon.
Okay, then everyone succeeds. You see him. He is shocked. What do you do? I mean, you're shocked too, but you go first.
All of us go first?
All of
Yeah,
you
we
go
all
first.
go first. I'll let you 2 go first before I hit him with the ghost dagger.
Can you hit him with a ghost dagger? Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's charged.
This is
Is
literally
he
a
in
random encounter
this zone or
that decided
this
that
zone?
he shows up. He's in this back zone here.
Okay, so I'd have to move forward to hit him with it, but I could do that.
Wait, which zone is he in?
He's in the
somewhere.
top one. So, yeah.
Okay.
Here.
There's random encounter the wizard who I guess that's not that random.
It's
He
his
doesn't live
house.
here.
In the middle of the night, he can't decide to come down and just check his treasures to count
Wait,
them before bed.
Was the
Honestly.
golem on that random encounter table?
Yep.
I'm sure.
I think this is the best option.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's going first?
I hope one of you 2.
I can't move 2 zones.
Did we do the chloroform rag idea? We didn't specify it, and I'm not sure. If we didn't specify it, probably not.
It's your chloroform.
So,
you could throw the bottle at him.
will that actually work? Like,
Throwing the bottle at him? No, you have to. Not fast enough for a fight is maybe the right way to put it. Like if someone was smelling it for a couple minutes, sure. But yeah, no, you got to pull it up to his nose for it to act quickly enough.
I mean, I can uncork it and splash it in his face.
That is something you could do.
Would that have it work fast enough?
You can try it. I think in this case, It's not instant knockout juice. I think I would roll secretly to see how many rounds it would take for him to be affected if
Hmm.
he is affected.
And that's something that we would have known already. So if that is the case, I think the correct answer is stab.
Okay.
And then remember how to actually do.
So you move into the same zone as him, I assume, first.
Yes,
And then you stab him.
correct.
Okay.
1d8 damage for your two-handed spear.
I can't use it two-handed at the moment. I did just say I had the sleep juice in the other hand, so
1d6 damage for your one-handed spear as you
Yep.
stab a man in bathrobes.
He was
for
not prepared,
3
as per
damage.
what you said.
He,
He was not
he
prepared to
takes
see a
3
stab here.
damage. Okay, he takes 3 damage.
Is he bloody?
And then
Nope.
I think I can back off without any. Let me see. Move freely, disadvantage, no free attack when disengaging. Sweet. Goodbye. I back off to where my friends are.
All right. Who's next?
I don't have any ranged weapons.
Well, I think you can. Can't you use like what you would to attack to move another space? Isn't
But
that
why would
something
I?
So you could get in his face.
So that he can't get away?
Yeah, you could just put yourself between him and, I assume, the teleporting conch.
Oh, because he'd raise the alarm. I did not think about that when I moved away.
I mean, sure, I can go menace him. That's a...
We could magic first. Put him in a prison of inventing memories.
I don't have a lot of drops to do that. I was gonna hit him with the dagger. That's like 2d6 damage, right? Where's the dagger info again?
Um, let me pull it up.
We could do that
Um,
first, see how it goes, and then see what's up with names. Finucci.
Yes.
Yes, my
It
really good name.
deals 1d6 damage, but it ignores armor, is what the dagger special ability does. And it is 1d6 damage in the same or an adjacent zone.
Okay, so I will move forward and then hit him with the magic dagger.
Roll 1d6.
A 5.
Nice. All right.
Is he bloody?
Looks very injured.
Killed a man in cold blood.
He looks very injured. Let's go.
Okay.
Surprise attack round.
Indigo.
I move into this zone, but yeah, I go stand next to him with a glaive
All right.
and a helmet.
Perfect. He looks very injured from the dagger energy. The stabbing was bad. Probably cuts him. Some were significantly superficial. But yeah, whatever. What is it? We haven't seen the dagger energy be used yet. I think so. I think
used
Use
it
it
on
on
the
the ghost.
We used
Use
it once on the
Okay.
ghost. Yeah.
Red beam.
Yeah,
Low budget.
but in between the two blades, it shoots out a phaser beam or something out of Star Trek.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, he goes
now
like
it's
this.
out of energy. We have to stab another ghost to charge it back up.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, maybe you'll be making one soon.
Baby.
So he is going to cast a spell.
Does he have his inhaler in hand?
He actually does. Even with his
Oh.
bathrobe. He keeps it on him at all times.
You do too. You take that thing into the
Totally.
shower.
Yeah.
That's true. How much ink does he have on him? Is the real
He
question.
does actually have ink on him.
Oh, good. Stuff to loot if he doesn't use it all on magic.
About that.
Well, if he's very hurt, depending on the level of a spell he tries to do, if he goes over the amount of ink he has,
NPCs use their ink differently than PCs, unfortunately.
oh man.
Let me double check So I know what he can do with spells. This is my first NPC spellcaster. So he is not going to hold back, given how wounded he is.
Thanks, guys.
I'm assuming it's gonna be AoE, so
Yeah, so he's gonna like imagine you have to call out the name or something of it.
Yeah, you have to
Probably.
of
say it loud.
course.
Yeah, he can call out his anime attack name. He yells out Crystal Swarm. And shards of like glowing pink purple razor sharp rock spring into existence in like hundreds of places around him and then shoot at all of you. He is spending a lot of ink to deal 2d6 damage to all of you.
Does that
Cool.
ignore armor?
Generally magic doesn't, so it will not ignore armor. And I'm just gonna roll once. Same damage flat.
Yes.
6
That's
damage
workable.
to
I can
everyone.
work with that.
But okay, so we have helmets, so that's 5 damage.
And
I
I've
have-
got light armor, so that's
I also have light
4.
armor. So it's 4?
Yeah.
Good. I'm at less
Tyrus
than half health.
dies. He does not survive this.
Oh.
We didn't care.
Yep.
And then he was going to
I'll bring his
move,
globby
but
body.
you do not get to attack him or anything like that because he doesn't disengage normally. He disengages by, you see him, reaching out and touching the conch shell and vanishing.
What? No, I feel like I should still be able to
That's-
smash him.
Yeah, I fully agree.
He
Yeah,
was
I-
standing next to it already.
Yeah, and I have a
Yeah.
stick with a big axe head on it. It's disengage.
The entire point of moving to that zone was to stop a disengage. They
That's
were
true.
actively watching for that to happen.
Was that mentioned?
If a it's not. It doesn't. It says if a character wants to move to another zone while an enemy occupies the zone
That's fair.
they're in.
Teleportation, I think, would bypass that.
No,
I think it would trigger it.
I
It's an
don't think it
actual action
bypasses
instead of the
wants
spell.
to move.
Yeah.
It just doesn't specify how or if you move. It wants to move.
I would also argue it is an action to grab the conch.
It's will
Is it?
that
It
dictates.
feels like it's less of an action to grab the conch than it is to move.
But it's will based, not action based.
Okay, that's being pedantic, in my opinion.
I just want to smack him.
I know.
I mean, the entire
You can try to
point-
follow him, but I think this will apply to you too. If you use this,
Well, was he surprised?
No, he
That
cast a
is- no.
spell.
You said he was surprised
he
when
was
he
as
found
surprised to
us.
see him as you were as you, but he wasn't. You weren't aware of him before.
Yeah, and then
he-
we immediately stabbed
okay.
him.
Yeah.
We could
But no,
follow.
I think teleportation overrides. If he didn't have a magic teleporting rock that he started like this close to, then no, he would have to disengage.
Counter proposal. What if I make the agility check
That feels.
as opposed to him making the agility
doesn't
check?
have agility.
I make the.
Wait, how do they avoid it?
okay.
I think. Do you have to make. How does
Hold on,
disengage work?
Counter
I
points.
disengage.
Oh, he uses
page
basic skill. I
13.
see.
If a character wants to move to another zone while an enemy occupies the zone they're in, they must make a successful agility check.
Fine.
If they fail, the enemy gets
No.
a free attack before the movement.
Yes,
What?
and that
if
is
an
the default
action
rule.
is used to move
That
carefully.
is the default rule. But
Right.
in this
I am
case,
proposing, what if instead of the bad guy making the roll to get away, I make the roll to intercept the conqueror?
yeah, I think that would be actually worse for him than if he made the roll to go away.
My agility's not that good. 4.
Or we could say if it's not an action for him to grab the conch, you can immediately grab the conch and still be next to him where he appears.
Well, it's a move action. I
It's
think
it's
if we could use an
effectively a
action.
move that bypasses disengage. So you can do that at the start of your turn, which is, if you succeed the speed roll, immediately. But I think I'm going to stand by what happened in this case.
All right, yeah, no point belaboring
right.
it. Speed rules.
Speed rolls. And
Okay. So yeah, if you want to,
going-
you can just touch it right after him.
I'm going with a 7, which I did. Sweet.
All right.
Going through with the steer.
I'm gonna do just a 5 because
Okay.
I might cast a spell. Where's this? There it is. Yay!
Perfect.
If you
I
want,
touched the conch.
I can go through first because I can get away if
You already said you touched the conch. Perfect.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, it's he touches it. I reach for him as he leaves.
Yeah, and you
then
touch
it's
it
my
like
turn,
a
and I just
split
continue.
second later. Perfect.
We're also all wearing amulets. I
You
wanted
are
to
all
make
wearing
that clear.
amulets.
Yeah, I think that was a given.
Yeah. Let me double check something. You appear. Yes. So, you appear in what is clearly his bedroom. On.
I was wondering where he accessed this from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You both
Ooh,
appear
and
roughly
spell
on
magic.
this side of the wall, like on
I
this
forgot
part of
about
the wall
magic
here.
somehow.
And we know the
You-
golem stays downstairs, right?
Yeah.
We know he just stays outside the
And
front
he
door until morning.
he immediately starts running downstairs. But you I think it's probably, let me draw, but it's probably just a full how's
No.
that pink now? Weird.
I mean, wouldn't the entire room just be a zone at this point?
I rarely want one room to
Horizontal
be a
line
zone.
would make the most sense. 'Cause it
Horizontal
looks like the
line?
conch is
Well, you
over
appear on
here.
the left. No, you appear on the left side of the wall.
Oh, cool. Well, that's a good zone then. If we both appear on the left side.
Yeah.
You're still in the zone, and he can't get away with that
he is
disengaging
in the
this
narrative.
time.
He is running, but you still. It's your turn, and you are going before him.
Get him. He's almost dead.
Yeah.
Hear him.
As I glaive him in the back.
Okay. You kill him
Yes.
before he can raise the alarm and let other people know what's going on. He's dead.
Is there a thing for you to touch to get back down there, or no?
You don't. So looking around now that there's a second where everything's quiet. Before that
Given
happens,
that
I'm
we
checking
don't know,
who
did
else
we
is
go up?
following.
I had every intention to follow, and given we have no way of communicating
This
what's
was
going on,
Yeah.
I'm
around
pretty
this
sure I
10
know up there.
seconds. Like,
Yeah.
less than 10
Yeah,
seconds
okay,
has
so-
passed.
Well, wait.
Felix, you pop in. Colin?
So is it a move to use the conch?
Yes.
It's a double
Well,
move
to
for
move to get
you.
into the zone.
It's a
I'd
move
have
to
to
get into the
double
zone,
move.
and using the conch is still a move. It's just a move action that bypasses disengage.
Okay, then I don't think I would sprint after, because then I'd get up there, and if the golem's there, I'm dead, right? So I'd be there waiting.
So you're
Still have
waiting
the
next to
action,
the
so-
conch.
Yeah.
And okay, so a split second later, Felix appears as the guy falls and stops breathing. Felix appears next to you. You both get a chance to like look around for a 10-ish seconds, depending on if we're checking if Colin follows you. Inside the bedchamber, there's a few things you notice. The wall behind you, the west wall that you appeared next to, has a relief on it featuring two large sharks carved of aquamarine among swirling currents of fish. So it's like a bunch of like gemstones and rocks like placed on the wall in this beautiful artistic display, and that is what it displays. Two sharks swimming amongst fish.
One of these things sends
I'm
us
tempted to touch a shark, but
There, you
Touch a
also
shark.
see there's a side table next to his lavishly decorated bed and dressing screen and wardrobe, but the side table contains a bowl of fresh pears and a book of some kind, and a decanter of fine wine.
What's the book?
Looking at the cover, as you
Is
approach,
it about some sacred ant monk?
it is a tome of the fungi of the sunless kingdoms.
Wait, isn't that like the horrible sporus will kill you in a second?
No, those aren't
fungi?
underground. The bone spores are an above ground thing. This is a different book. But I think
Spores.
we'll exit combat at this point.
Yeah.
But there's a second. Yeah, there's a second of calm. No one seems to be coming upstairs to check on what's going on. That loud noise. Don't worry about it.
I will quickly shovel anything that seems even remotely valuable into my bag.
Probably
including
10
the
seconds
book.
later, I appear. 10
And
seconds later.
Colin, you appear too? Okay, so you guys... So, Tyrus dies, and the three of you are now no longer in the vault. Cool.
So useful.
A few things happen. Nothing like big happens, but looking around, the wardrobe itself, here, you find several, the word is sumptuous, robes. Also an opal wristband worth 25 drops, and a decorated nautilus shell containing 2 doses of, would you recognize this drug? That's a thing? Okay, a weird sweet-smelling jelly that has lore associated with it that I did not know, and it's amazing, and that's all I'm going to say unless you succeed in archives check.
Archives check.
Wow.
Is this history or culture?
Yes.
History.
I'm gonna start. Way, advantage.
I'm going to look into how we get back to the vault, because we, appear... Do we all appear, the same space?
Near each other, yeah. It's not horrifying teleportation magic where you have to move immediately or get merged with evil. On a success, Dazzle is a sweet-smelling jelly acquired from trade with the sea people living beneath the waves of the Azure Ocean, which is apparently a thing. When smeared on
that wasn't in the lore.
When smeared on the skin, it boosts the user's self-confidence and make them exude mind-altering pheromones, giving them advantage on all social checks for a day.
Deodorant of attractiveness.
If you
for you,
have
sir,
a
wizard.
hangover from it,
Thank you.
So it's worth roughly 12 drops per dose. Every drug can have a hangover from it. This one would be disadvantage on all social checks. So it's a full-on reversal. As you start relying on it too much. You get anxiety. That's what it says. Anxiety causes...
Confidence deodorant.
Yep.
So 25
he was using this every day, wasn't he?
Maybe.
He was just rolling on this confidence stick.
So yeah, get 2 doses of that. You also... Inside the tome itself is normal, except for the torn page from a separate book inside it.
What does the page say?
The page gives you a handout.
Are the robes worth anything?
They're pretty, but they're not worth drops. They're not worth significant.
We can't fence them.
No.
AKA, okay, I'll grab the bracelet and
the torn page says this following text.
Oh yes, my god, this riddle is the answer. It's the code. Oh god, stupid riddle.
Yep.
Okay, now we gotta...
closer inspection of the relief of the fish, I think you were looking at. You also see among the small fish near the sharks are marble carvings. 2 of them are different fish. One is a flying fish and one is an angler fish.
Oh! The map! Okay, so the flying fish takes us to the study. The angler fish takes us to the vault.
Ah, yes.
Do we want to go to the vault or do we want to go to the study?
We know the vault is safe. Let's start with that. Get all of the valuables we want from there into the tunnel for a quick retreat, and then decide where the rest.
Yes, good idea.
So far, the alarm hasn't been saved, so maybe we should also hide the body under his bed.
We take the body with us to the vault.
Totally take the body with you to the vault.
Yes, we want to take the body with us to the vault. But
the blood's fine.
But can we I want to try and clean up some of the blood and put like
A lot of
some of
blood.
those clothes.
His sumptuous
Cover it with
robes
sumptuous
absorbed
robes.
most of the blood. It was a single glaive strike to the
It was a single glaive
spine.
strike, and it was a very nice bathrobe. It was very absorbent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
It
want
also
to.
happened to be a deep shade of like royal red.
Also,
So we
he
press
landed
his
face
dead
down.
hands to the anglerfish to check if it works.
It does. It teleports you back to where you left, next to the conch shell.
Okay. I'll say, all right. Now you two go down there. I will clean up here and make it look like he's still sleeping, in case someone comes to check on him.
We're just taking the body to the vault.
Yeah,
No,
the
I know.
body just
I'm
tested the vault.
I'm putting the pillows to look like he's in bed.
No one's gonna check.
You're probably right. Slap.
Okay. You guys all teleport back to the vault. Excellent.
It'd be
Alright.
weirder if someone pretended like he was there. If an
That's true.
adult wants to leave his bed in the middle of the night, no one's gonna be like, "Oh no, the adult was left bed."
When we get back, I go,
let's read this
Tyrus, you figured it. No,
Yeah, then you notice Tyrus is dead, having been stabbed by shards of crystal.
The light of
Yeah.
the full moon? Why on earth is the full moon the sun? I think, entered wrong?
He never saw this page.
Yeah.
As I approach the tower,
So
He
I
found it.
think
He found out the
it's-
code a different way, and it apparently led him wrong.
That's step one.
Veered clockwise.
he went
Then it's
counterclockwise.
8. 1.
1,
1,
2, 3.
6, 7, 8.
I think
Yeah,
it's
why is
8
the-
on the outer rim. Because you can't go
No.
through the wall
I
there.
will hide the blue one
Are
for
those
now
walls?
while you decide your own way, and I can
8.
show
Yeah,
it at
no.
your request.
8 gets us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It gets to the sun if you go clockwise around to the outer rim. Then you go in 1, and you're on at the one-eyed snake. So I think that, yeah. So if I can do some drawing, that's not more circles.
So you think we start?
We start at the full moon.
So then
We
1.
go all the way around, which is 8, and then we go
You know what tool
in.
we should be using? The pathing tool.
Switch to
this.
freehand.
Yeah.
Oh, or yeah.
Oh,
that.
yes, thank
That's what
you.
we should be using. So 8
Okay.
that way.
I came upon a gate guarded by a one-eyed snake, who I disposed of quickly by calling on the powers of the spirit world. Past the snake, I followed a path passing by the gate, followed by a large beast with a human face.
Wait,
6.
hold on. So here,
Yeah.
and then here.
Yes.
And then is it 6 continuing the same way?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it a beastly human face?
A large
is the
beast with a
beastly-
human face.
This is the beast with the human face.
That's a tiger. It could be this thing, which is the beast with the human face.
Pass this. Okay. Try pass through as I approach the soil. I think it is that because the next thing is the soil. So, I think it's there and then there for the soil.
1,
Rose up
2,
before me to
3,
give form to an
4,
earth
5,
spirit. Yeah,
6.
that looks like an
Yeah.
earth spirit. I managed to
Try pass
slip
through.
by what was distracted by the riddle of tides I had learned during my time with the sea people. Past that gate, I found myself at the foot of the stairs. So 0
just-
straight into the tower.
Well, or is it that the sea people because of the clam,
What?
the clamshell?
3's not anywhere on this number.
No, it's 860, isn't it?
It's 086.
I still think that's 8-6 and then 0 straight in because the soil rose up. I managed to slip by distracted by the riddle of the tides, but in every single case he's been saying, here's how I got by, and it hasn't mattered yet. And then past that gate.
Okay, what? Oh, here's an idea.
Yeah, I
Why
think that's
don't
the path.
if we think this is the path, why don't we also crowbar up to see like
To verify it,
let's to verify. If we
We've
think this
already
is the
done
path,
some
you
crowbarring,
have to
so
have some
yeah.
crowbarring. You can continue crowbarring. You were about
Just crowbar the
1/3 of the way down
specific,
your
like...
crowbarring before you were interrupted.
so I think no matter what, could someone draw
Mm,
over this,
Sorry,
please?
actually, I'm
while
wrong.
I hold it?
You were 2/3 of the way through your crowbarring before you were interrupted.
Okay, can we tell if there's a difference between stuff under um the tiles? So like
Make an archives check.
I asked our smart friend to do it for me with help.
Is this history or culture? This seems like culture with the book reference.
It's not. This is mechanics.
Oh.
You're investigating, like,
What
the
about a
mechanics
trap?
of the things
Oh.
before. If you have,
Is it a
Fine.
trap?
it's close enough that I would say yes.
Then I could do it. I've got a 5, but that'd give advantage.
5 with
And
advantage and probably better than 6.
well, if we're helping, you have an advantage, right?
Oh,
Not always. In this case, I would say
Well,
no.
well,
Like,
Marissa could help with the traps.
oh yeah.
that's fair.
Felix helping.
6 with advantage.
Perfect.
Still holding this. I don't know if it's got.
Oh yeah, you're
My
fine.
mouse
Cool.
not working is not.
Here, I got it.
Marissa's theory is actually completely correct. Those are the correct
All right.
buttons.
We do that. We go. Ooh, that's a circle.
Either way, I saw what you drew up before.
We
That's why I said it was
do the
correct.
theory.
You do the thing. And so one thing you'll notice when comparing the numbers is that the first thing isn't a 0. It's the full moon symbol that you
It's
start
the moon.
Oh, it's the moon.
Oh, which
That
is
makes
yes
sense.
and no.
Yeah. No, the
Which
numbers
is-
are a red herring. Because the guy who did the numbers literally did it wrong.
God, that's so awful. I mean, it's a good puzzle, but like,
Yeah.
God, you even.
As soon as you got
I've been really
as soon as you got the real
impressed.
clue, you figured it out within 5 minutes of real lifetime. Like,
Yeah, we did, but that means that they expected us to explore the entire tower before we made it down here.
there's a shortcut
I
right
mean-
to that same room outside.
What? What do you mean?
You teleported there. You teleported to the room with the clue in it, right outside the
Oh,
vault.
that's true.
So like, it wasn't
That's-
actually that far.
Or we could have bought the book.
Well, I mean, that means that
Also,
it
if you
assumes
didn't
that
tunnel in, this was there were like other than tunneling, it was much more likely you were going to run into that naturally.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
so we
Either
open
way,
the
we
vault.
open
you press the
vault.
buttons, the vault door opens. Inside are several things. So,
Ooh, and a dead body. I will like
you can throw the dead body
You
in
got
there
it.
and close the vault behind it.
as a
So,
trap
probably I would
detection.
want to
I
die,
start
or where I would
by
want to
chucking the body in.
Yeah. There's no traps. There's no traps in this whole thing. Or more specifically, with the previous successful thing, there are traps that would have activated had you failed. Up above, and I think that you can salvage these. In those 8 empty holes are what were 8 and are now 6 orbs that can glass orbs, roughly like large, like grandfather marble sized, an inch or 2 across, that contain swirling gas. This is known as warp gas. This is the like magical, not quite magical, but horrifying version of what everyone would have heard of warp gas, because it's basically considered mustard gas. It is what happens if Elder Ink gets too superheated. You can inhale you can inhale ink to cast spells, but that's at like if you heat it too much, then Elder Ink vapor turns into warp gas, and it's can turn you into things like you saw happen to Tyrus. It's like horrifying. So you find 6 chemical weapon grenades, effectively.
Cool.
Excellent.
Aha.
So keep that in mind.
Can those 6 chemical weapon grenades count as 1 inventory slot?
Um, I think. I would say yes, but I'm gonna change how big they are because this doesn't say how big they are. But 2 of them are big enough to fill this entire room, which makes me think they're actually probably like crystal ball sized.
Yeah, like bowling balls of death.
Yeah.
Bowling balls
They're
of death.
bombs.
Okay.
So in
They're
that case,
mutating bombs.
yeah, they're basically bombs. 2 of them will fill the room. Um, it's not a small room. I would say you would. It might be 1 inventory space each
Ooh.
because you need to be careful they don't break, and they
This is
seem
gonna
like
be
they're
a-
meant to be breakable if you drop them. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing. Is if
We're
this
gonna-
is pressed
we're
on,
gonna-
they would drop to the ground and break open.
See other stuff first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how much would these be worth?
A lot
Say
to
to
the
perhaps
right.
some bug
You
revolutionaries.
a lot to the right person. Probably
Would it be enough
like
to raise the bug revolutionaries faction rating?
no, not by itself. That's like going to be hundreds at this point, I think.
Does the bracelet take a slot if we just wear it?
Probably not.
Assuming
Actually,
we can
Inventory
load up.
slots are
bracelets probably
really
gonna be
precious.
0. But I'm not
Yeah.
done with the stuff you find inside the vault itself because that was outside the vault.
Ah, I see.
You find what you were looking for: an ancestral Eric void glass blade. You were being paid, I believe,
180?
sorry.
180.
Yeah, the void glass blade itself is worth 120 drops if you didn't sell it to your buyer. So it's actually better to complete the quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also find 1 small metal barrel that takes up 2 slots and is but contains 200 drops of ink.
I got that. I got it. I got it.
You also find 1 petrified egg belonging, or probably dead, belonging to a lava hydra.
Ooh.
It's worth 90
Well.
drops. You also find a something that I think some of you have had your eye on in the like
Is it the
distant.
gun?
You find a moonlight rifle,
It's a gun.
an elegant long silver gun that fires thin beams of pale light. It's worth 135 drops.
Oh my god.
You also find
I want the
Oh, dear.
rifle so bad. I will be the king of the desert with my horse and my rifle. No one can challenge me.
you find a blue gemstone pendant in the shape of a hand. Seems like it's worth some money. It's also magical in some way.
Ooh.
You also
Is it trapped?
there's no traps in here, other than what I already told you. You also find the memory stone of an Ornkin, which is here we go. Ornkin, new species, creatures of awakened stone, which formed spontaneously from a region called the Dreamstone Caverns deep within the Sunless Princedoms. They wander the world eager to explore life to the fullest, store memories within their soul stone, granting them perfect recall and making them popular archivists, messengers, and bodyguards. So kind of like this world's version of Warforged, but they're spontaneous and not
And the
created.
rocks.
Yeah, they're in other fantasy settings, those might be considered golems, but they're fully sentient beings. But they're like, yeah, made of rocks.
Oh, he locked up a sentient rock dude in here?
What? Nope.
I think he pulled
Their
out his
memory.
brain.
Yeah, pulled out the soul stone.
Oh, he pulled out his brain.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with perfectly
So
crystalline etched
it's
memories in
it's
it.
this perfectly spherical like gemstone. Does anyone understand Void Song or Eric as languages?
I don't think so.
Okay,
No.
perfect.
We need that to use the
Who
brain.
touches the stone first? It's not trapped. I'm just
We
asking.
haven't touched anything.
It's not
I haven't
trapped.
touched anything.
Okay.
Is that the last thing that's in here?
Nope. There's
Okay.
one more thing.
All
There's a
right.
dark metal jar that is warm to the touch.
Oh, good. We definitely know that. Not touching anything.
Yep.
We
Just
we
says
put
a
our
label on
back
that.
of a hand to it. It's
Yeah.
Warm, yes. Chemistry rules.
Okay. That's everything. So,
I think we just figure out what we do next time.
yeah, we're only 5
Oh,
minutes left.
we also want to go to the study though, or I want to go to the
Yeah,
study.
we're not done with
I don't
this.
think we're done
We're
yet.
not done with
but
this.
you found a whole mess of stuff. This is a vault of one of the most powerful people in the city. And
I think we're gonna go stick it in a hole as we keep exploring.
Yeah, you might
Stick it in
just
a hole.
okay, grab it, leave it, tell the rats to stay away from it, except that might reverse psychology them, and go.
I'll leave them rations. It's not like I need more inventory slots
That's
right now.
fair. Yeah, you're gonna be like, okay, good job, rats. You have all of my rations. Bye.
So
Guard
XP.
this and don't touch.
XP. So,
Like,
Did you find treasure?
did you find treasure?
Maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we get a D8 for treasure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you complete a goal? This was technically a
We broke into
short-term
the vault.
goal.
Yeah, breaking into the vault was the goal.
Yeah,
We
short-term
just
goal
cheated.
and completed in 1 to 2 sessions. This is your second session of it, so 2 goals.
Yep.
Short-term goal complete, D6. Did you learn anything useful about the world?
We learned about the bug monk.
Bug monk, the three-eyed panther.
Water
I
I don't know if
people,
that's useful.
charisma
We learned-
deodorant.
Charisma.
We did
deodorant.
learn
deodorant.
All right, yeah. It feels
Yeah.
like in this setting that's always going to be a yes, but yeah, D4.
I think the bug guy is like the notable, not just like we read box text. Like we did look up that guy.
Okay.
Mm.
Did you establish a meaningful relationship with a faction or NPC?
I mean, we
he
killed one.
died. You didn't kill
We
him. He just got caught in the crossfire. Giant AoE crossfire. Would you call that a meaningful relationship?
No,
I
we
don't
don't
think
want
we
it to be a
had
meaningful
any.
relationship.
I was
Nope.
gonna
We
say.
want them to not know we did it.
All right, cool. So no. Did any of your characters survive being on death's door? No.
No.
Okay, so we have a D4, a D6, and a D8.
I'm a D.
Roll them and keep the highest, and then someone gets MVP.
I've got D4.
I'll take D6.
Congratulations,
Well,
Mercy.
my
Both of your
double-clicking
D4s are a
mouse.
1.
And I
Okay.
go D8. Take us home.
Oh,
Yay.
Yes!
that's a payday. All right, who gets the MVP bonus?
I want to give it to I vote the rats.
I think I'm voting for the wizard because they did all of the busybody work while we were stuck on our projects.
He did.
Right, wizard.
I see both.
So we're at between Felix and you. So now Colin gets the last vote.
Yeah.
Do you think it was yourself?
Who is closest to leveling again?
This will put me 8 of 15.
You take it, because I got my level 3 off of this, so that'll be a
All right.
3 of 15.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Yeah. So, some of you leveled up, and
Yes.
Do warlocks get anything good when they level up?
Let me
Ooh,
see. Level
it's a
3
name
spell.
crafting.
Name crafting.
every level gets a new spell. I think.
Oh, it does?
I could be wrong.
What?
No.
Am I wrong?
No, you gotta buy spells.
No,
I
you
thought it was
gotta.
both.
No.
Hold on.
No,
Warlock.
it's just you have to spend money. I think.
But
I
level
got- so
3
last level,
is,
I got-
spell rearranging.
Yeah.
Where you can take
Instead of
words
learning
you know and make a new spell.
Wait, so Prison of Fire?
Ooh, yeah, I could do
Prism of
Blinding
blinding.
Memory?
prison Prison of Avenging Fire. I could do that. I could do Prison Silhouette.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I thought you
Vortex
learned
of
one at each level.
Steam.
My bad. Okay.
Yeah, this
Fire
name
silhouette.
crafting is a great feature.
It is
Yep.
really good.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to use my I smell money.
Yeah, you didn't have to cast any spells.
No, I didn't even have to use my ink sense. I might use it next time.
Yeah, if you want to find hidden stuff, look. Level 7 is terrifying for the
It's
warlock.
you gain a
Yeah, you
random
get a random
spell.
spell.
Plus, wait, the random spell plus name crafting.
I don't think it's the
Yeah.
same. I think name crafting is learning a new spell. And I think the Whispers from Beyond one is more like a not one you've
You just get
permanently
it.
learned.
Yeah.
Hey, you still have to spend the $50 for the name crafting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the name crafting gets exponentially more powerful over time. That's the interesting part about
Mhm.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I
The
gotta look up
focused breathing's pretty good too. The reroll of ink cost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All of the powers are good. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's a good point on this game, that all of the powers, like,
Mhm.
you don't level up a lot,
But it
but
means something and it's interesting.
yeah, the powers are all cool and interesting every time you level up.
Yeah. All of the characters feel good at what they're meant to be. The Warlock is super weird and just gets like stronger and weirder as things go on. The Fixer gets better and more versatile. And the Vagabond just gets more hard to kill and easier to kill other things.
Yeah, I don't even think I get harder to kill. I just get better at murder.
Well, you could have the more grit you have, the more you can reduce damage you take.
That's fair.
Speaking of getting better to kill, what is the rules about, hey, you've used a weapon, take wear on them? Should we be
you roll
rolling
it.
that?
Yeah, you're
for
right.
two
We
of us?
should. We should
Every
be looking at
combat
that.
you
Every
roll.
combat. So if you used a weapon successfully, so you're the glaive that Indigo used.
And the stare.
Yeah.
And what is it we roll?
Where
Sorry,
is
I
it?
don't know where this roll is from.
Equipment rules. Here it is. It is roll a d6 for each item, and on a 1 to 3, so 50-50 chance of high is good. High means it doesn't get mark of use.
Do I use the dagger because I used the magic part of the dagger?
I do not. I'm only
It
assuming.
doesn't feel like it.
Let me check. I don't know. I'm taking the D&D assumption of magic items are immune to wear and tear, but that might not be true actually. I'm gonna actually say yes for now. Roll to see if it gets used. If it marks a usage die.
It does not.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. I did my level up also. I took 2 extra health, so now I'm at 10 health.
Nice.
And I did mask up to 6.
Nice.
Just screw balance.
Yep.
I love how the
Screw
first.
balance.
I love how the first thing I was like, okay, I'll go into and make sure I have the best archive. Oh wait, okay, fine, it's fine. I'll just go into and make sure I have the best mask.
Oh wait.
Never mind. Agility. So I have a very decent archive, a very decent mask, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll actually be a rogue.
Yep. And I think we're mostly good.
Oh, we all got a roll for our armor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Or a
because you all
helmet.
took damage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dang it.
So another D6.
Yeah, but another d6 for your helmet to see its condition.
So is it still
So
like
one less
out of
for the
3?
helmet,
It's
one less
still-
for the armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were wearing both helmet and armor, but yeah, each piece of armor that you used.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a
Then-
quarter of their price to fully restore it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just wait till it's at a 1.
Wait till it's you can wait till it's at 0, and you can it doesn't get destroyed when it's at 0 uses. It's just too worn to use. But as long as you don't get rid of it from your inventory, you can repair it even if it's at 0.
Yeah, destroying is narrative.
Yeah.
So like, if we get blown up in a fireball and all your gear melts, then yeah, it's gone. But like, if
Yeah.
it just runs out of uses, we can get it repaired for the helmet, $2.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think magic items do still wear and tear.
But they don't. You can't repair it.
Why couldn't you?
Yeah, how much would it be to repair it?
I would. Most of these
One
are
quarter of the price.
also have their own prices.
Oh, does the dagger
Yeah.
have a price?
The dagger is not, but we can create one basically.
Yeah.
Looking at it,
We know how much we were
feels.
offered, so
Yeah, you
75.
were offered 75, and
Yeah.
looking at other things going on with it, I think 75 is a fair price.
Dang, you said he lowballed me.
No, it was more like you didn't you didn't impress him, but it was more like you failed to hype to like
Oh,
make him
failed to like
high
upsell
volume.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, looking at
Alright.
other like a force staff is also 75. And a void glass blade is also 75 and probably is better because it ignores all armor and deals and things like that.
Yeah, that's why I want.
Yeah. But we'll figure that out. Okay, I have confirmation that they get uses because the void glass blade automatically marks a use on a crit. So
Okay.
that means everything uses usage.
Dude, I might throw some money into getting a spike graft.
Oh, what?
I mean,
Because-
money, or ask our flesh crafter here
Yeah.
to.
You should look
To
at
spike
Indigo. You should suggest it to Indigo because he could
It's
also.
it's really good actually. It permanently fills a hand slot, but it can be used as both a melee blade and a short range weapon of recharge 5, but it only recharges when you fire the spike.
Yeah, if you use
I
it as
mean,
a
my
ranged
understanding
weapon,
is you are replacing your hand with a spike.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to
I
be the
love how
spike
willing
version of
you are for
Cyborg?
that.
It permanently fills a hand slot.
So you
Now,
couldn't use the gun.
Wait. Now,
Now
we
if you could
graft
put another
you-
arm.
if we graft a second arm, I don't know, coming out from under your chin or something, just like a hand.
We've
just, like,
established
comes
that
out
if
from
you
under your
have
chin.
extra arms, you do get the extra arm slots.
Well,
Yeah,
well, you know what?
naturally,
I'm
only
adding this to my
naturally.
notes. I'm adding this to my notes for next
But anyway,
downtime projects. Extra
If we were
arm.
this is like 3 months of work, just to be fair.
Yeah.
This is like a 3-month long project. But
Stop taking jobs for a while, just get extra.
just send you to surgery for 3 months
Yeah.
as I experiment on you. But if we can stitch on an extra arm with the spike graft, then you could be sword, inhaler, gun hand.
I understand a little bit better what the assassins were.
Yeah. Oh, did they have spike grafts?
They had
Well, they were
spike. They
clicking
kind of did. Yeah, they had.
with
They
spikes on their hands.
yeah.
Got it. Nice.
Interesting. Okay. Anyways, we are going to be presumably back next week with
Yep.
finishing this off and saying, well, we looted the vault, but what else is here?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, we
study.
gotta go to the study.
too.
Yep,
I think it's just a
There's a
study. I don't think we go more than that.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think we're
no.
doing much more.
that's fair. Okay.
Because the thing that's right below his bedroom is the panther, so we don't want to go downstairs.
Yeah, we're not going to the panther room. We
Fair.
don't need to test any of our
Mhm.
panther proofing plants.
Nope.
Yep. Okay.
We got a sword.
We will be back next week to finish this off and then see what happens after that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you for watching.